That all looks great. Marketplace.tv. Didn't know about it till this weekend. That's not true. Welcome back, guys. And we're getting set here for the lower bracket final between froyotech and Full Tilt, the sort of penultimate series of this i58. We can have a really quick look at the teams here and talk a little bit about them before we throw over to our casters. I think when we're ready here in a second, we'll pull up and have a look at some of the stats from the froyotech team. Actually, we're going to do Full Tilt first because alphabetical order, it's overrated. Full Tilt, they came up from the lower bracket, of course. We have a look there at some up-to-date numbers. I don't know, do you guys want to pick out players to watch from this team for today?
Mike and Ast, you can see that against their KDs and KADs, they have the number 1, which means that they are the best.
Yeah, the top number.
Mike yesterday was really, really good. Ast was incredible in some games yesterday. Absolutely ridiculous. And again, as I was talking to some guys from Full Tilt, like they really need to make sure that they get that combo going, because when you have a soldier, I think it was CommanderX that was saying yesterday, that just hits every rocket, probably by accident. Like even ones that he missed will probably curve and hit someone.
Yeah,
like
he's the luckiest man alive.
Yeah, you need to have somebody following up, and Ast was doing that. And if they play like that, they'll be fine, I feel.
Yeah, Ast had a lot of freedom and he really benefited from it. And we even saw Silentis again sort of stepping it up into the later stage of yesterday. If that can keep going, they're going to be pretty formidable.
Cool. Some of the low-key kind of stars, maybe. We'll switch over to froyotech to have a look at their roster real quick as we're getting players in server. We can see they're beautiful, gorgeous. I'm not biased by any means. Are there low-key heroes on this team? I mean, everyone knows Banny, of course. We've spoken about Muma already. Or is there something in particular we might want to look for? As the maps, by the way, we mentioned earlier, starting Snake, Badlands, and Gully, a lot of what we've seen.
I think TLR's been very underwhelming this entire LAN.
Yeah? Do we want to look at, maybe we'll look at that pocket matchup then. We'll have a look at that, and here it comes. But you say he's been overwhelming for you? Underwhelming?
Yeah.
Under.
Not sure. He's been running the shotgun a lot, but he just doesn't. He's never really seemed to have an impact on any of the games. He's not playing bad. He's not letting the team down as such. But certainly, even though Silentis' stats aren't great, partly because he had such a rough start.
Yeah.
But Silentis is getting better. TLR is just kind of plateaued in a really sort of anonymous role on pocket.
He's not lived up to the hype. He's become quite a T-lala. Haha. But I think it was yesterday against Crowns where I was sort of watching the game. He had no kills with the shotgun, and I think he ran it throughout the entirety of the map. So throughout the entire thing, he had no kills, and he only had 155 damage on it. Like,
is he stuck in the past war? Is that what you're saying?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I mean,
in a time warp.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's got no hats in game.
Yeah. Wow.
And he needs to get up with
the cheaters
time.
Lament and the proof of purchase, perhaps.
He definitely has that.
Ghastly Gibbous.
That
guy needs to go to marketplace.tv. Cheaper than the Steam market.
He needs to get rid of
no
his
trade holds.
Yeah, he needs to get rid of his Pyrovision goggles.
All right, well, who else do we want to have a look at here? Silentis and TLR, where we'll be watching each of them to see if they can step up. Perhaps.
Demoman ones would be pretty good.
I'm thinking the demo as well. Let's pull it up. We're going to have a look at Muma versus Ale. I was told I'm saying that wrong. But who has the edge here to you? We've talked a lot about Muma, but Ale no slouch.
Yeah, Ali yesterday was also very good against Jasmine T. He's been really, really consistent throughout the entirety. There have been maybe like 1 or 2 games where he's sort of fallen off a bit, but even so, he's a very good, stable player. Muma had like an incredible start. It's sort of fallen off, and I mean, I guess the last game that they were playing was Crown, so yeah, it kind of fell off after the last game yesterday.
Well, we'll see who falls off or stays on right now. We're getting ready to head over. We've got players in server. We've got big Bren and medium Sideshow. I think Bren is taller than Sideshow. We'll measure them later on. They're gonna
stay tuned for that.
They're gonna. What's that?
Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we can't show that on stream.
A little later, yeah. That'll be on Periscope later. We're ready for the casters. We'll toss it to our boys with the call, Sideshow and Bren.
There we go. I need to adjust my seat so that I look taller than you at the very least if we're going to do this. Because I don't want to be measured
Someone's
particularly.
been messing with these. Well, we've been.
They have.
I'll tell you now, it feels different. I feel uncomfortable.
It certainly does. But I'll tell you what. Doesn't feel different.
What is that?
That's amazing. I'm sorry, I'm not good. I apologize for ego. Please forgive me. I'm just European.
European.
In rainbow color, Bren. and
There's a
repeat
lot
it
of effort
multiple
in
times. That is a lot of effort. I think that's more effort than the teams have been putting in.
Dedication to the memes.
We're about to be going in here to our lower bracket final between froyotech and Full Tilt. We've got the maps as well. The first one that we're going to be going into is Snakewater, and then after that, Badlands and Gullywash. That's a bit of a weird drafting process for me. I don't really understand where Full Tilt's picks have come into that one. I thought they'd try and throw in some kind of curveball. Like if Product is banned out at the beginning, or Reckoner, why would you not go for the other one, I think, against froyotech? But instead, we're playing some pretty classic maps.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, actually. I was really quite surprised that we didn't see at least one of those two maps getting through. Reckoner, I feel like, could have been a pretty strong map for Full Tilt. If I recall, they tried to make it sort of their pocket pick. I don't know if that's still a thing, but...
I don't think so. I don't think it's their pocket pick at the moment, but certainly against a North American team where they don't play it in the ESEA, and at the most, what they've done is a bit of theory crafting, going through demos and stuff like that in order to prepare. You know, if that was banned out, I can see why they'd be a bit hesitant on Product after losing 3-0 yesterday to Zenex. No offense to the Zenex guys watching, but you guys aren't that good.
Ooh, okay.
But they really weren't, and they just got rocked on Product, and they beat them on the other two maps, and Zenex had been, you know, like underwhelming at the rest of the event.
Right, okay.
And to lose like that, I think implies that Full Tilt were on Full Tilt rather than they were bad at the map. I think that Full Tilt are a very emotional team, and if they beat themselves up about a prior performance, then they probably don't want to return to that kind of map. I think they'll feel good, though, on the decider here, which is Gullywash, because they were dominant on that yesterday against Jasmine T. It was unbelievable. They smashed them.
Yeah. It's a good pick as well for other reasons, being the Crowns throw game that was happening yesterday, where Crowns dismantled the entirety of the Froyo lineup throughout that entire game, and it was their pick as well, Gullywash.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think they imagined that they were quite strong in it, but you know, Crowns just really did a number on them. But I mean, Full Tilt, I don't really know which way this game is going to go in the slightest.
That's part of the fun of it, Bren, isn't it?
I was like looking over there as the Froyo guys just sat behind us. They were all doing the demo reviews. They were looking at Full Tilt, putting in the work, you know. They were here a few hours earlier. Full Tilt, they just turn up, hangover, just rocked up to their seats.
The guys did prepare a little bit last night. They went back, they made sure that they got some sleep at the very least. They were enjoying the LAN atmosphere, let's put it like that. But at the same time, last night they were, you know, taking it fairly seriously. They didn't get drunk or anything. And they were always like chatting to people, seeing what their input on the games were, you know. Like War said, he was chatting to them, and they were talking to me a bit, and just talking to the Jasmine T guys as well, who were around last night, and just seeing how all of the teams feel about each other, because you really don't have much data at a tournament like this. You only maybe play a team in a best of 3 once. You play them one map in the group stage. It's difficult to get a handle on an actual play style of a team, modeling it from, you know, extrapolating from one map or one best of 3. So it's a bit of educated guesswork, and also preparing yourselves for a variety of things that could happen during the game, because there are players here that could certainly step up that we haven't seen from in the tournament. And I think some players to watch out for and try and gauge their performance would be Ale as well. He was getting picked off a lot in the Jasmine T games. He had a really high amount of deaths. That might be because UE and Madness are like super aggressive scouts. Doesn't really apply the same to Banny and Free State. They don't tend to chase as much. Free State does to a lesser extent. But I think if they can rein Ale in and still have Mike and Ast going strong, their flank at the very least is much better than froyotech's.
We can have a look at some Froyo guys. I think they're behind us somewhere. There you go. That's 404. We got
a very sleepy TLR. Sleepy little TLR bear. He's ready for this morning. It is very early in the morning here. It's 1 p.m.
1 p.m. in the afternoon.
1
Quite
p.m.
early.
in the morning. It is, but these guys, you know, used to North American times. Maybe Bren. Some would say we're reading too much into a single yawn. Those guys are idiots.
Got nothing else to talk about.
Definitely. But the froyotech guys, I think, have done more preparation in terms of theory crafting for this game. They had the time after losing the upper bracket to watch froyotech versus Jasmine T. And they went back to the hotel fairly quickly.
Yeah.
They were watching the game. They're looking at things. They're looking back over their previous demos. Full Tilt didn't really have that opportunity because they finished, in the evening, and then they're spending their evening preparing mentally for the next game. Interestingly, Crowns as well didn't do that much preparation last night because they don't know who they're facing, and they really don't feel comfortable pinning it on a certain person. They don't feel comfortable thinking, okay, it'll probably be froyotech, so we'll study harder on froyotech. They really don't know. I think that applies to everybody.
Yeah.
These guys tied in the group stages. That's the only games that we have against these, of these people playing against each other. There is really nothing that currently separates them, but they're about to be separated on Snakewater, Badlands, and Gullywash. There can only be one.
There can only be one. This isn't Highlander, though, so
it is.
we're not going to go that far, but I mean, what are you expecting to see on Snakewater, at least between these two teams? I mean, which team was it that picked Snakewater? It would have been Full
yeah, I think
Tilt.
that would have been Full Tilt. And I'm not really sure about it. I think they like Snakewater. The froyotech holds on last were fairly good, but I'm not sure. They played fairly well on it, really. Their mids were quite strong. They were able to really push momentum forwards. They weren't really able to be slowed down. There was a lot of situations where they were able to really get in onto Crowns when they played against them on Snakewater. Yeah. But I think they'll have highlighted areas in their defense that they'll be able to exploit. For example, the window on Snakewater second, Mooma normally puts traps over to the right-hand side whenever they're holding it, and they leave the top area unguarded to be watched by Free State, who's currently sat on the, or will be sat on the pipe.
Yeah.
So that's slightly less well defended, and it's the classic spot to have a Roma bomb from. So I think they'll be looking at tiny things like that and wondering whether they can exploit them and come up with a map win overall. It looks like we are about to go live, though, with our first map of this lower bracket final between froyotech and Full Tilt at i58. The winner of this will advance to the grand final. The loser will be knocked out. Their tournament life on the line for both of these two teams. Let's get into it, Bren.
Absolutely. We're going to be watching Ali for this rollout at least, and there is a lot on the line for these two teams. You can hear the crowd getting pumped up. It's definitely not the Dota 2 commentators talking in the background, and as we see Ali, he's going to be picking up that half pack. And now here comes the spam exchange. Going to be trying to get that early damage onto them. One sticky onto Mooma. Going to be bringing him reasonably low. And already Mike, he jumps very forward. Getting a bit weak as well in that kitchen area. Freestate going to be trying to meet him head on. He might be able to get a kill. Not quite. But as I say that, Thalash and Ali. Ali picks up 2. 4-4 and Banny falling. froyotech getting absolutely dismantled on this mid-fight. Koss does fall in the end to Paddy. So it's a nice little pickup. A little bit of a counter-frag there by them. Not all is lost for Froyo just yet, but not the mid I think they were hoping for in the slightest.
Certainly not. They looked caught out a little bit by what Mike was doing. He came down the right-hand side from his perspective really early on, actually, and Free State was put on Mike duty. And Mike made sure that he hit him with a nice rocket, just wiggled around, made sure that he couldn't pick up the kill on him. And it drew so much attention and a key scout out of the game that they were able to push across and kill the rest of them. In the meantime, though, froyotech pushing out, been able to recap second.
Absolutely, yeah. It looks like that one quick little pick-off from Salente as he was trying to escape with his little skill stick out through that cheese area. Didn't manage to get out now, but it looks like Paddy is going to be getting some information from his team. He jumps forward. A lot of spam now coming out from the Full Tilt guys, trying to basically stave off Froyo as it stands. A bit of cap time also coming out from them, but neither side really wanting to commit just yet. As I say that, Mooma hits up one little pipe onto Ali, bringing him down, and that's going to be a lot of area denial missing from the Full Tilt lineup because of that one pick, and straight away we see Full Tilt respecting that, not going to be contesting it any longer. But now, with no demo man to block off these exits, Froyo going to be exploiting it, moving in through the green area as they do. Salente is going to be getting off a fat rocket onto Banny, keeping him off, and now here comes the Uber exchange by both these teams leading it in. TLO! Oh, Mike hits him with a fat air shot, brings him down with no issues whatsoever. 2 players down currently on the side of Froyo. Banny trying to take this 2v1 in that lobby area. Ali going to be cleaning him out with no issues whatsoever. Salente is also causing a bit of distraction plays. Froyo now, 3 members remaining, having to back off now. 404 wants to leave. He wants to try and keep it up so he can have his Uber to try and defend with, but Mooma does get the exit frag as they were trying to escape from the mid. but Full Tilt in control for now.
And Banny's actually going to get a forward spawn here, so froyotech are deciding to initiate once again. Paddy's in up top, and Tyler went for the kill there, but wasn't able to get it. Ala has fallen in the meantime, though, and that has allowed Full Tilt to pick up the mid. But at what cost? They're 3 down, and Koss is being chased.
Yeah, Koss is in a lot of trouble now. A lot of damage coming out onto him. Ast and Thalash doing their hardest now to try and keep him alive. Thalash picks up 1, getting that kill onto Paddy, and now Froyo looking to back off a little bit. They don't want to contest this dynamic duo of scouts that Full Tilt have got. Thalash and Ast, very, very capable in the DM department, but now Froyo, they've got 100% Uber, so does Koss, however. And both teams now in a bit of a stalematey situation here. Full Tilt just really spamming out that saw area. Mike holding in the green. He's going to be leaping back to his team. And neither side really willing to take the initiation just yet.
Well, they'll be waiting for Paddy, who's on spy at the moment and starting to make his way in. Full Tilt holding, you know, in their default positions. He knows exactly where Koss is going to be. And I wouldn't suspect a spy in this situation.
Absolutely
it's really early on in the game. And you've only just started the stalemate. Look at this, Paddy coming all the way up behind. Not taking any chances. Making sure that he gets into lobby. He'll spot out that Thalash is on sniper.
Oh, he misses the... Is he going to get him? He does. He picks him up with the Ambassador. But now they know there's a spy in the midst. Paddy trying to escape. A little bit of espionage coming out from him right now. Froyo looking to play off this confusion, this distraction play. They're moving in, but they're going to be basically paying off of casualties in the end. Uber's now coming out from both these teams. Thalash is still down, but so is Banny. So it's a 5v5 with the Ubers just about
as well here. If Full Tilt try and knock the hammer down, they should be able to get a couple of people. Numa gets caught. Tyler's too far in as well, and he wants to go forward with 404. But Paddy's in behind. Paddy's in behind, and Koss is healing him.
No way, what? This is ridiculous. Ali finally spots the mistake that Koss was making there. And he is going to bring down the spy amidst their ranks. And Froyo now having no choice but to back all the way out. 404 with his life is just going to escape. But Koss has a hefty Uber advantage now, 50% in the making. It's going to be 100 fairly shortly as Full Tilt, they have capped up the mid, and now they're going to start to maneuver their way into the second point that Froyo are trying to hold on to. Now Koss, very, very close, only about 15% away from having a Uber. They're going to be trying to work their way, and Silentes might be getting caught out a bit there. A lot of spam coming in. They're trying to work their way through the screen area. Mike also hanging around the window. Froyo realise that they do have the Uber, but Full Tilt, they're trying to take it for free if they
Mike
can.
Mike on the flank, just destroying people.
Oh my God.
He's been clearly, for my money, the best roamer of the LAN, and he obliterates the flank of Froyotech there, takes down Paddy and Banny with the help of Thalash, and that's opened things up.
Yeah, they popped off the Uber now. Full Tilt, they're just basically steaming full steam ahead. Paddy's leaping in, trying to contest it. Ali's with the stickies, cleans them up. That's going to be the first round of this lower bracket final going to Full Tilt.
There's Matt CV behind Mike and Thalash, the life coach of these two teams. Not two teams, sorry. The life coach of Full Tilt just cheering them on. I really do think that Full Tilt is such an emotional team that having people behind them, literally right behind them cheering, is going to give them an enormous boost. They feed off that kind of energy so much.
Yeah. This is going to be mid-fight number 2. Snakewater is the map, as you can all see, and watching Muma for now. A little bit of a missed up roll out there. He's going to be picking up that health pack much, much later than Ali, actually. And Ali's got some crucial stickies off. And that early damage can be the only thing they really need to get this ball rolling on the mid. We see the top area. Silentes, he's bombing into the back lines. 4-4. He's in a bit of trouble. Lovely surf by him. Just escapes from his rockets. And there's going to be Free State who picks up the first kill onto Silentes as he roams
so
in.
much room
damage.
Here.
Look at this. Full Tilt just taking so much room. Koss even picking up a frag onto Free State, and only 2 players remaining. 4-4 fell in the midst of that fight there. Full Tilt having no issues whatsoever on these mids.
Froyotech looks so shaky. They don't look like they have a plan to deal with a player that bumps in deep or goes behind, and they haven't been able to actually bring them down quickly either. They're sending 4 or 5 players to look at whoever's bombing in and deal with them, and yet Silentes was able to survive for upwards of 5 seconds, which buys an enormous amount of time and removes a load of damage from the rest of the Full Tilt people. So that was well executed, but also Froyotech have got to be able to deal with things better if they want any chance on these mids.
Well, here we are. Uber going to be popped in by Full Tilt. It's going to be Mumu who's the first casualty. Free State also following up Silentes with the quick 2K, and now Paddy's trying his hardest. There's only 1 man left. Once again, Full Tilt showing Froyo who is boss. in this first map as they take another round from them.
They look so strong at the moment. The execution on both of these last pushes has been excellent, and normally froyotech are really good at being able to hold on to last. Their last defense is some of the best. They have everything set up before they go in. They make sure that they know where everybody's holding. You know, they prepare in time, but they're not able to hold back an uber disadvantage push so far.
Well, this is it. Another mid-fight, another day. Let's see if Froyo can start to turn it around a little bit. Ali opting for the main rollout this time, trying to get in those early damage. He hits off one onto Free State. Sticky is coming in hot, and he's trying to basically lock them off from that left-hand side right now. Froyo looking to take it from the right. A lot of rockets being exchanged here, and the kills are flying all over the place. Thalash finding Paddy in the midst of it. Froyo, Mooma going to be finishing off Thalash as well with a pipe, so that's going to be 2 kills. Make it 3. This is the turn of events that they needed. Now Banny hot on Ali's tail. He's picked up the health pack, but right now Kos needs to focus on trying to get out alive, so they do have this Uber, but it looks like at least Froyo for now are going to be trying to move on this. Kos, it looks like he is going to be able to escape, but his team might not be so lucky right now. Froyo.
How does Mike get out of that situation? He was around the bottom and taking a fight with Banny, and he was on 50 health and was somehow able to just time his rockets perfectly to juggle Banny around the corner. It's really strange how good he is. But on that mid-fight, froyotech had an amazing adaptation. Like, they proved that they are able to adapt to anything that Full Tilt are going to throw at them. They push Paddy really quickly up across the left to make sure that Mike has too much damage, won't be able to bomb. Paddy takes a lot of damage anyway, but that's Full Tilt's setup completely destroyed. And then as Silentes bombed in, they dealt with him. So a real improvement on every front there from froyotech on that mid-fight.
Well, Ast is on the spy right now. He might be just checking for off classes. Indeed, that is exactly what he was doing. He has whipped back. Okay. Paddy, there we go. There's a nice little attempt coming in by Froyo to try and force out Kos, but it didn't even get close because that sentry gun built by Thalash. Now, Ali moving in. They've got 2 picks now. There's a sticky trap by Mooma. This might be excellent. He just needs to detonate now, and Kos is dead. They don't realize it's there.
That was very...
Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen a trap in that situation either. So, Full Tilt guys, you know, making sure that they check every single spot there, but there was a moment of extreme danger for them. Now the Uber charges have been traded on this balcony area. TLR going to be moving down to bottom, see if he can pick anything up. froyotech going to push on this. They've got a lot of damage. They might be able to pick Mike on the right-hand side, but Banny goes down. Mike winning the fight again, and Silentes picks up TLR. Mike is still alive. Eventually gets taken down now by Free State. Paddy's taken a lot of damage, and now the momentum swing back in favor of Full Tilt, but they don't look like they want to push just yet. Maybe without Mike.
Yeah. Mike down for another 8 seconds. They're going to wait for his respawn, and right now there's not too much pressure going to be on the Full Tilt guys. They have 2 rounds into their belts. All the pressure is going to be on Froyo in this situation. They've got the upper hand when it comes to map territory, but they need to be starting to really nail some of these pushes and some of these off classes. We see Banny now on the sniper, going to be getting that overheal, moving into position, and if he can pick up even a single player, it might be exactly what they need. Now Silentes, he's in that upper area, just spamming them out, making sure he gets the information for his team. And some very, very defensive off classes coming out by Full Tilt as well. Engineer, no sniper. They were running a sniper on Asp, but he has switched back to scout right now. And Banny now he's peeking the shutter very slowly. He hasn't got eyes onto Kos. Kos is okay. Kos just hiding around that corner. He realizes now that they are running the sniper. He's not going to be giving any room.
But this is such a classic position to hold in. Whenever there's a sniper, almost every medic holds in Kos's position. So I don't understand why these teams, they are just beginning to do it there. Mooma making sure that he spams down because he knows where Kos is. A lot of those rollers were trickling over, and it looks like TLR is going to go for some spam as well. They know exactly where he is, but they're just trying to get onto him. Ast goes down there to a shot by Banny, but he needs something a little more juicy. They know exactly where Kos is. He's just tempting them out, and Banny goes down to some synced up spam, and the Uber's been forced as well.
Yeah, Uber's going to be popped off by both these teams. Full Tilt getting the better end of it, and with that, disadvantage with the Uber Froyo. They don't want to spend any time whatsoever on that last point, immediately backing off. I think the loss of Banny as well was a bit too great of a risk to try and move in off that, and they're just playing it safely for now. They still want to maintain control of this second point.
Now, Bren, do you remember the 1-1 hold on Snakewater last for a crazy amount of time between Full Tilt and Jasmine?
Yeah.
Full Tilt started getting really bored, really annoyed with themselves. The team started getting a little bit tilted because they had to hold last for so long. War was talking about it a bit, how he said to the team, you know, you can control the pace of it, or you can just learn to accept that you are going to be on last and just be patient about it. We'll see whether it affects them in the long run, but this hold looks like it could be out for a long time. froyotech taking this one super cautiously. They've still got a ton of time left.
I mean, right now there's only 6 minutes left until the round actually resets and we go back to another mid-fight. But Full Tilt, as you mentioned, not the kind of team that likes sitting around patiently.
Oh, they hate it.
Yeah, absolutely. They really want to take the fight to them. They want to be in control, in the driving seat, making the moves, if you like. And now we see Free State on the sniper as a headshot coming out onto Paddy, bringing him very low, down to half HP. Now Free State creeping up. He might be able to click on Salentas' forehead.
Forehead.
Free
State's going to creep up. Creep up, drop down. Oh, there was nobody there really protecting him as well. I think Muma has a sticky trap that stops. No, he actually doesn't. Muma doesn't even have stickies on the area that Salentas is spamming. So if he pushed in, he would be almost guaranteed that pick onto Free State. But they're just content to spam him out of those situations. Deny him the angle, give him only the most difficult of shots, and make sure that he can't get any large picks at the very least.
Yeah, Mike is getting a bit of information once again. Free State trying to take this 1v1 sniper duel against Ast. Going to be losing it in the end. Ast quick on the trigger.
Yeah, not really known for his sniping at all, Ast. Normally it's Thalash on the team that takes up the sniper, but when Thalash is playing engineer, you know, sometimes Ast does run sniper, and the boy can aim.
Absolutely, yeah, no doubt about that. And I mean, there's been so much time right now. Thalash is building up a teleporter straight onto that high ground on the point.
Yeah, they actually do this a little bit. They used to do this on Sunshine quite a bit, and the idea is that when you're rotating in the Uber fight, cost can like vanish from one area over to the other side, and it really reduces the ability of the enemy team to force off your Ubers or something like that. Thalash has taken so much damage there, actually, and if the entry goes down, then the sentry is more vulnerable. Paddy's in, though, and the rest of his team's slightly behind him. They're taking a lot of damage there as they come in through the choke, and with one player traded for either team, froyotech still look super tentative, but they are all bunched up around that entrance, so they look like they want to go for it.
They're trying to move in right now. They're moving in with the entirety of their team. Free State only just getting the respawn. Now the sentry gun still not spotted. Ali with the pipe onto Paddy, bringing him down with no issues whatsoever. Sentry gun also going to be falling there. A lot of spam coming in from Mike as well. 4-4 eating a lot of damage. Maybe popping out Uber a little bit earlier than anticipated. Now we see Thalash on the heavy. Uber also going to be popped off by Full Tilt, and it's a much, much better one at that.
Oh my god, they're going to get crushed. If they can get onto 4-4, he somehow squeaks out through that choke point. TLR, his pocket was caught in there. Are they going to push off the back of that one? They got them on the run, and they did a lot of damage to them. I think that was their opportunity. I think that was Full Tilt's opportunity to push out there, really use the better Uber charge that they got to try and be right behind them when it faded. See if you can get any kills as they escape into lobby, and even that pick onto TLR. Hello?
Can we get a camera over to Banning, please? Production. Hello?
4-4 must have not healed him, or maybe he wants to go I have no idea what's going on there. Did he really just suicide? No, he didn't. He's back on scout. I have no explanation for what just happened.
I would have loved to just be a fly on the wall in that moment. Just
sat in their mumble channel.
You have no idea. I would have paid so much money, but once again,
here's a skip jump. Here's a skip jump in by Paddy, seeing if he can get something done. Just eluded Mike for a moment there, but as Free State ran into the sentry, Paddy has died again. 2 picks. Are you not going to push with this? Are you not going to attempt at least to get yourselves out in a situation? They're not. They're not even moving. They're literally not moving. They're going to hold for another 2.5 minutes. Full Tilt are literally full turtle at the moment. They're just going to sit there. And do you remember what happened last time when this team turtled on last and waited until the last 30 seconds of the round timer?
They lost it.
They lost it. Jasmine pushed in with 30 seconds remaining and took it from them. So, you know, do you ever get that feeling of deja vu, Bren?
Cavalry's here! Who's going to be coming in by Paddy right now, leading the charge straight away. Kossi still has it, finally going to be popping it off now. The sentry gun doing so much work. Muma finally bringing it down for his team, but they could be in a lot of trouble here right now. Salentas backing off a little bit. He realizes the Uber is fading, and no kills going on either side right now. Froyo now looking like they want to dry push it in through the right-hand side. They got really nothing to lose at this point with only 1 minute, 40 seconds remaining for this round. Mike trying to spam them out a little bit. Neither side really taking the momentum. Paddy jumps forward, but Thalash on heavy, bringing them down. Come a little bit of cap time also being popped off by the Froyo guys. They're trying to basically force them onto the point if they potentially can. Thalash is so weak. He's going to have to wait for an Ali with the 2K onto Free State and Muma. Mike onto TLR. These are 3 picks that have gone the way of Full Tilt. And at this point, they're going to be moving into the lobby area. They want to claim that second point that they've worked so hard for. And I think they're going to be able to get it unless Banny and the boys start to roll out now. They look like they want to try and contest this. Moving in, 404. He's popped off the Uber charge. Muma, he's brought down Ali. Now Koss going to be popping off his as well. A slightly better Uber coming out for the Full Tilt guys. Once again, Free State in the back line is going to be basically focused down really quickly there. And now this fight, which has been taking place all over basically the second point of Snakewater, looks like this finally gravitated right back to last with only 40 seconds remaining. Froyo, they could potentially do this. Banny moving in. They need to try and focus this down.
Oh, Ali's coming in.
Ali moves in, picks up 1 kill, but froyotech pick up the round anyway.
What
as Banny
was
just
that?
caps it under their noses.
That was a little poor by Full Tilt to give the round away there when everything looked so good for them. Ali had just come in. All they needed was 1 body to block the point. It's not like they were all weak or anything. No. That was insane. And once again, Full Turtle, it doesn't work out. Because when they take the opportunity to push, they're too tentative about it. They haven't made the decision immediately. They don't push out and get onto the point and lock out the rest of froyotech, even though they had a 3-pick advantage, and it comes to bite them in the butt later on.
Mid-fight number 4, Ali opting for that main rollout. Muma trying to meet him head on. Both demos really getting to the mid at the same time now. Banny also taking that upper area. Salentes is a double soldier side coming in. Mike right onto 404. See you later, Sunshine. That's going to be no medic whatsoever. Now Koss needs to be in a bit of defensive position, but the picks are all going all over the place. TLR, he jumps in trying to get that one precious med pick, but it's not going to be happening. His team is hot on their heels. Thalash and Salentes bring them down.
Yeah, big plays from everyone on Full Tilt. That synced Soldier Bomb was excellent. They managed to pick up 404 instantly, and then Koss does an excellent job of being able to survive. TLR came in with a bomb just at the end of that fight. I thought he might be able to take him. Obviously, the shotgun is actually quite an asset in that situation, but he surfed it away like a glorious swan.
Okay, well, there's a few players being exchanged here. Banny might be a little bit too far forward there. No, he's backed off just in the nick of time. He was quite weak. And
sticky trap at bottom, and Koss looks like he wants to go there. He's adjusted his position.
Okay.
Now is Ash going to see it?
Oh,
He's dead.
Okay, that was a little bit too close for comfort there. That could have been the swing of momentum that Froyo wanted, but right now they are on the back foot. We see Free State on heavy once again. Any other off classes? None that I can see.
They're giving up the super advantage, though. It's 80%. They only have another 10 seconds to push. Salentes gets juggled up in the air as well, so he's not putting out any damage. Free State's taking a long time to be focused down here, and the Uber is going to come out of 404. They took way too long with that execution, and now they're going to pay for it. And it looks like froyotech are not going to repeat the same mistakes of Full Tilt. They are instantly out on the chase and already getting cap time on second. That's how you push out from last.
Absolutely, yeah. Really well executed there. 404 knew, just needed to wait around the corner a little bit. He only had about 10% left to go until he had his Uber charge. And a bit of playing off the mistakes there from Full Tilt. But now Froyo look to make their move through the mid-fight. TLR taking that high ground, eating a bit of damage. Salentes does find Paddy, so that is one more player down. TLR might be the next casualty, just escapes in the nick of time through that catwalk area. And Full Tilt looking to move forward, pressing their W keys on their keyboards, as well as mouse 1, trying to basically get those kills if they potentially can.
Are you making assumptions about their configs?
Potentially, yeah.
It's very rude.
Well, what, are they using Xbox controllers? Or?
They could be. I think Paddy is.
Okay. Full Tilt. They are getting in a decent amount of spam right now. Froyo trying to meet them head on. In fact, yeah, Koss has actually dropped Ali now in the midst of this. Uber comes out. I think Froyo getting a better end of this as they are chasing it in. Banny leading the charge as he so often does. And Froyo right behind him. Paddy now trying to leap in, trying to get in that early damage, but they're not finding any picks. And now Thalash, he's going to go for the backup attempt. And now his team could be in a perfect position to try and block this point. I don't know if they're going to be able to get to this in time. Paddy doesn't realise nobody on Full Tilt actually going to be blocking this as well. So yeah, it looks like Froyo, they aren't going to be able to get the mid.
Oh, all they had to do there was put a single player on it from Full Tilt. I know that you want to play safe in this situation. It's a lot on the line, but that was a really good back cap attempt by Thalash, and now froyotech storming forwards, and Thalash is miles and miles behind them, and Full Tilt once again on their last tier. They're still 2-1 up in the game, but Froyo at the moment seem to be, they have shaken off that little bit of rust that was there at the beginning of this match and saw them go down 2-0 quickly. And now they're starting to get back into it. Have looked like the better team for the last 10 minutes.
Now, Thalash is doing a really good job here. He's pulled a few players back. They realize they cannot push into that lobby area with the threat of him still behind them. Now, they are sending so many players to try and find him. Free State does spot him. He's going to make the call, and everyone from Froyo just converging onto that one player. Thalash doesn't really stand a chance in that situation. He could have maybe brought one player down, but his aim wasn't feeling it just then. And now, full tilt. They are one player down, but still they have had the opportunity to turtle up as much as possible. But Froyo moving in now through the right-hand side, seeing if they can get any space, any picks whatsoever. At the same time, everyone on full tilt is actually still respawned. Now, Free State,
they've gone and got caught.
How has that even happened? Paddy and Free State just maneuvering themselves onto him. And full tilt just did not protect him, and now the Uber charge going to be popped off by Froyo as they're moving in. They have basically got this point for absolute free now, and full tilt, they don't stand a chance. Thalash on heavy, trying his hardest. 4-4, just about to surf away here, and I think, are they going to be able to do this? Sideshow, they're trying their hardest. Mike cleans them up with 2 quick rockets.
He's actually going to be able to hold this. The spawn, of course, has just come in. Some heals back on the board, and Paddy and Vanny don't want to go for it, don't want to take the 2v3 against the heals. I have no idea how they held on to that. I think it was a lack of cap time that allowed full tilt to be spread out in their defense and attacking from a lot of different angles where it was difficult to focus them down. Whereas if you play the point earlier on that push, I think maybe it would have helped them out, because full tilt would have been forced to come down to the point where they don't have the sustained heals and probably wouldn't have been able to do that one. But that is that's a very important beef there from froyotech, because that looked almost certain that we were going to tie the game up at 2-2.
Well, now full tilt given ample time to get those defensive off classes up and running, and it looks like they're going to try and make their way through the lobby area. Paddy is hiding on that balcony side, going to be trying to spun them out, and full tilt, they look like they don't really have the minerals in this situation to move off no picks. Just really, I think, just seeing what's what.
No, they definitely should hold in this situation, because the round timer is larger at the moment than the map timer, so it's not like that's going to run out at any point in time. And froyotech just keep doing this double sack in. Free State Paddy, Free State Paddy. It's only worked once out of about 7 times that they've tried it, and even when it did work, they weren't able to execute on the Uber advantage that it gave them. So I think if full tilt here should be super confident of being able to hold last, and should only go for the push out. They're too late, for example, in this situation again, to be able to capitalize on those 2 picks.
Yeah, both teams really making a few crucial mistakes, and these are 2 big picks for them. Both the soldiers going down for 10 more seconds. Now Froyo look like they want to play off it. They're moving in. Thalash on heavy, going to be trying to put in some work. The flash of the Uber just about connects to him in the nick of time. Now Ali with a quick pipe brings down Muma. Paddy just waiting for some heals round the corner. They've spotted him. He gets an arrow, and he's going to be there to respond. And now the kills starting to slowly shift. Mike and Celentes. Ast follows it up. Pistols and scatterguns for days. And Froyo now.
And at the moment, I mean, you can see the difference between these 2 teams just in how Mike and Celentes are performing against TLR and Paddy. The soldiers are really making the difference here. Mike and Cel are doing an enormous amount of work for their team, mostly defensively, being able to get in and hit crisp rocket after crisp rocket on people. As I say that, Mike whiffs 2 rockets on stream, but they really have been putting in a lot more work than their counterparts on froyotech, who are currently pushing in.
Yeah, full tilt on the back foot a little bit now. Everyone is pretty much weak on them. In fact, Costa's actually going to be falling to Muma there. Now this is room to breathe for Froyo. They're moving off to the back of it. Thalash, very, very weak, having to back all the way back off to the resupply. And now Mike might actually be falling indeed. He does the banning. Now there's 4 players down. Froyo, this is the time to move. Surely there's no way they can beef this now. Thalash trying his hardest, but it's all too late as Froyo secure 1 more round off the back of that. And now the scoreline 2-all. This is looking more and more like another golden cap on Snakewater.
It could well be. It's going to come down to this round potentially. It's 2-2 with 5 minutes remaining. We're getting to the crunch time here of our first map in the lower bracket final between Full Tilt and froyotech. We'll have a look at our 5th mid and see how it goes. So far, it's been Full Tilt all the way apart from 1, so we'll see if they can repeat that kind of performance and put themselves in good standing for potentially the most important round of the map so far.
Ali now rolling out, getting to the mid a little bit sooner than Muma, just trying to basically get off some early stickies. Bit of damage onto Muma now, the denial starts to come in. We see Paddy, he leaps forward, not connecting the rockets onto Thalash like he hoped in the end. At the same time, Ali is quite weak on that point. He might be focused down, but Thalash in there, right on the back lines of TLR. going to be bringing him down 4-4, eating a lot of damage. Full Tilt now looking to play straight off this, just really running them down. Banny does find one kill, but he might be paying with his life here. In fact, yeah, Ali is going to be finding that kill, at least securing it for his team now. Full Tilt looking to move off this 2 pretty big picks. TLR is about to get respawns. Salenta's very weak, might have to back off for heals right now. So I think right now teams are going to start to try and stagnate it a little bit as the spawners are just about to come up.
They are. It's on Full Tilt here. They're in the driving seat and they've got Thalash on Sniper. I haven't seen much of Thalash on Sniper so far, but online Thalash can hit a ridiculous amount of headshots, and Snakewater is probably his favorite map for being able to do it. You have such good angles on this second point, the point that they're just about to fight on. So I want to see something big from him here. You know, we don't want to see offline Thalash feels bad, man. We want to see offline Thalash feels good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We want to see him.
We want to see Thalash turning up. We're going to be... Well, he's getting some overheals. Absolutely, he's more than capable of it. He's hitting off a few pot shots here and there, but I imagine the pressure that's on this guy's shoulders right now to get the pick they need is a very hefty weight indeed. And now 3 minutes, 17 seconds remaining. Paddy just leaping around, hopping and skipping around the second point. Neither side, I mean, it's Full Tilt just really waiting off the back of this one pick from Thalash. But they might be going for a sack now as there's no stickies on that window area. Mike just checking if it's clear. They could be formulating a play.
4-4's so far back. 4-4's holding literally on the point. I think if you bomb from window in this situation, you really don't get much out of it. What I'd like to see is only Mike to be holding the saw area, and for the rest of Full Tilt to try like a really slow push over grass, gaining territory and allowing Thalash to snipe from the back.
Well, we saw Froyo attempt to run a spy in a very similar situations, but in that point they were in a driving seat. Full Tilt looking like they really want to put all their eggs in one basket with Thalash on the sniper role. And now they are just still waiting for this one singular pick-off. Ali spamming them out, trying to lock them away from that saw area. Spam being exchanged, and there we go. Free State going down. Mike now, that's the cue for him to jump in. Going to be trying to get off that early damage. TLR might be going to be losing this 1v1. He's so weak on that pipe area, but he's got the positioning advantage, and he's going to be getting an arrow as well to follow it up, so he is very, very healthy and very capable to take any fights that he so wishes. But right now, one frag on either side, not enough for these teams to feel the confidence to gain a bit of courage to move in.
Yeah, I like that from Full Tilt. They realized that it was going badly for them as soon as Mike died. If he'd managed to hit the direct onto TLR and take him out, then perfectly fine. You can commit to that with the rest of it. But with a sniper on the field and your Roman soldier down, I think it was wise for them to back off in that situation before they'd actually committed to it. And froyotech at the moment look really solid in their hold. 4-4 now holding a really tight angle. Oh, yeah. He's moving back over. They're still wondering exactly where Thalash is and where to position their medic, but he feels safer over by this point. Make sure that he can hide behind the logs as well as Thalash creeps around this left-hand side, just making sure that he attempts to deal with any threats that are closest to him, because if he tries to just run around that corner and get 4-4, you know, it might work, but at the same time, it's very unlikely.
I mean, at this point, 1 minute, 10 seconds remaining, Full Tilt need to be starting to take the initiative here. I think even if Froyo do manage to get a wipe onto Full Tilt, they might even struggle to cap up the last point, and there we go. This is the positioning, the rotations coming out by Full Tilt as they're looking to try and take this Uber v Uber fight through the green area. Salenta's leaping into the window area. Mike going to be caught out of position there, maybe getting a bit too ahead of himself, and with that one pick off, Full Tilt looking to rotate. Thalash, here we go. Well, that's what we're used to seeing from that man, and there we go. No Uber now coming out by Froyo. They're starting to dismantle them piece by piece. Players falling from the side of Froyo, but right now Full Tilt don't look like they're in the position to try and make some magic happen, and in fact the Uber
comes TLR as well.
TLR moving into the back lines. He's found Koss, so that's going to be no heals, but now the frags are going all the way to the side of Full Tilt. Spawners just about to come up. Mike is now with his team.
They're moving to go forwards.
They have to do it with only 18 seconds left. It's coming right down to the wire. Can they do it? Can they try and avoid this map going to the golden cap? They're trying to harness. Thalash with the body shot onto 4-4. They're trying to play the point. Paddy is so weak. They need to go on the point. 5 seconds remaining. Froyo, I think, are they going to be able to do it? Yes, they are. They save it in the last moments. It's going to go to the golden cap.
And Full Tilt, they could have taken that if they'd had a better Ubo after killing 4-4. After Thalash sets them up in that perfect position with just under a minute remaining, you know, they go back into the saw area, try and group up, I think it was Free State and Paddy had already got in around behind them, and they used the Uber in that situation to kill Free State and Paddy. I don't really agree with that because they're so far back. You've got no cap time on second. There's no way you can transition that Uber into last.
Yeah.
So I think you have to hold on to that, and even if cost drops, you're not going to win the round anyway, so it's well worth holding on to it. You know, if your medic dies, you're not going to win the round, sure, but they aren't either. It's not like they have enough time to come back into it. So I think it was definitely worth cost trying to hold on to that one and getting a better Uber charge out towards the end of the map, because that could easily have been a 3-2 to full tilt after that ridiculous shot onto 404.
Absolutely. I've only just noticed as well, unrelated note, but my Twitter handle is completely wrong on the screen. Yeah.
There you go. Well, what is your Twitter handle, Bren? If we want to catch up with you.
If you want to follow me and all my antics, I generally just post absolute dribble and nonsense. So
that makes two of us.
well, yeah, follow Sideshow Gaming as well. Oh, there we go. It's proper now, but
there we go. But we are going to be going into this this golden cap between Full Tilt and froyotech. This is going to be really interesting. Let's take a look at the teams and see what they are up to with their preparation, see if they're talking to each other, relaying strategies and stuff.
Nope.
Full Tilt at the moment, no, they just look fully in the zone as well.
Got a bit of a crowd behind them as well, cheering them on. Let's all cheer for Silentes of Ohio. And Mike, is that a bead of sweat I see rolling down his face? No, it's not.
It's a tear.
It's a tear.
It's a tear after they were so close to winning that one. There's froyotech as well, obviously Banny there on the right. Going to be attempting to lead his team in the same way that he did at i58, dropping down into the lower bracket final, having lost to a European team and having to beat Reason Gaming there, and then went on, of course, to beat Nerd Rage in that situation. Will he be able to do it again? Certainly winning the golden cap here would be the first step. And it looks like we're going to be going into it very, very shortly. This one round is going to decide the entirety of the first map between these two teams. It's Full Tilt v froyotech, and it is the lower bracket final. Wow. Golden cap on the first map. Obviously close. Every single map that these guys have played against each other, they've tied so far. Yeah,
this side series has actually been completely nuts. The crowd there looking very excited.
Let's see. Let's see who is in favor of froyotech. We got I'm guessing, Bren, that this is a home crowd. Do you think? Do you think?
Okay.
Let's see who's cheering for Silentes for Ohio. Full Tilt.
Hey, there we go.
I think so. I think it's a home crowd advantage, you know, for these two guys. But there were two very dedicated fans of froyotech in there. Yeah, they'll be feeding off that energy, I think.
Absolutely. But let's all pray for Banny. But
the teams are just starting to ready up, or possibly, I think they're just about to go live, and we are going to be going into our golden cap. This is the lower bracket final golden cap of the first map here. Let's make some noise for Full Tilt v froyotech.
And this is where the magic's going to start to happen. A lot of pressure on both these teams. If you can secure the first map victory, it's going to put you in a very, very big advantage. Just really psychologically and, of course, literally. But moving now onto the mid. Mike jumping forward, opposite to that kitchen side. Going to be getting a bit under their skin a little bit now. Silentes also leaps forward. Look at that damage he's just put in. Another follow-up.
My God.
Ali! Goodness me, man. What are you made of? He's had his Weetabix this morning.
They're going to watch out for cost. Free State.
He's trying to get the angle on him. They can't get him.
Oh,
my goodness. What?
Free State with that last shot there is able to take down cost and save it for his whole team there. What a clutch play by him, saving his team in the golden cap potentially, because that would have been froyotech up against the ropes with an Uber disadvantage holding last. Given how well Full Tilt have been able to execute every last push with Uber advantage so far, that would have been rough for them.
Yeah, very, very rough
as
indeed.
Paulson would say.
Silentes falling in the midst of there, a little bit too forward. Mike as well going for an attempt. Nice little sack attempt on 4-4 there. Does get him very low, but ultimately the follow-up was not there. In fact, Full Tilt holding all the way back on this mid. They don't want to potentially give up any more players than they already have. And there's Froyo, they're looking to make their move through this point. Free State, he stepped up on that mid. Let's see if he can try and do it again to secure even more momentum for his team. TLR now moving forward. That's Ali. Caught out position there. not escaping in the nick of time. Paddy, he leaps forward, not going to be able to connect onto anyone, but full tilt now. They're being caught between a rock and a hard place right now. Uber being forced to be pop out as Kos has put it onto Salentes, but it's a much worse one as that. As Froyo looking to lead them in, they actually caught out Salentes as he's running. He's jumping behind them. The point
Paddy's
still
already
being
on
camped out.
last.
Paddy's already on last, causing all sorts of mayhem right now, and they're picking up frag after frag. Froyo look like they might be able to take this. Full tilt are crumbling. It's all on Ali, but they can just focus him down now. The spawners not coming up. I think they've done it, Froyo. A complete 180 from what we were expecting after that mid-fight, but they take the round and they're going to win the golden cap.
They were so aggressive there. As soon as they got that single pick onto Mike, they realized that Full Tilt were on the back foot and playing defensively, and they stormed that one forwards. They knew that Full Tilt were backing up, and a team, when they're backing up, is able to put less spam onto you, is able to deny you less, and we just got rolled all the way back to their last there. There was no point at which they were able to stabilize. Amazing play from Froyo just to turn it on in that final push. And that's the kind of aggression that's going to win you games at the end of it. That was beautiful stuff by them to take the golden cap, and it's froyotech who win Snakewater, despite it being the pick of Full Tilt there.
Seen that a few times, haven't we?
I've seen it almost every time. Do you know what, Bren? Some might say these teams don't have a clue.
It genuinely feels like that sometimes, but the way these games have been going, you can definitely tell that you're higher than your average pub player at least, but I am
at the very least.
At the very least.
That's the bare minimum that we're going for.
Yeah. But yeah, let's throw it back to our analyst. I'm sure they've got all sorts of banterous jokes to tell us. Probably not. They're actually not that funny, but go on.
Bren is such a bully, and I don't know what to do about it. WARHURYEAH, have you ever been at an ice series and wiped the opposing team on a middle in a golden cap round, and then soon after lost the golden cap round?
I did get a situation where I didn't win a round.
So no, then.
No.
What, I mean, can we talk about that? I mean, coming out on that mid in the golden cap, Full Tilt, getting the crowd essentially on their feet. We got a big old crowd. What in the hell happened then for Froyo to just come right on back and take the round and win the map?
It was bizarre. Like that shot Freestate got at the end was crucial. Like Kos going down, that does take the wind out of their sails.
Yep.
And then they just sort of throw it all away, and they can, like Sideshow said, they can never stabilize, they can never recover. They just got carried away. Kos got caught out, and Froyo just turned it up again. Went so aggressive, so quickly, and didn't give them any room to breathe.
There's no time for warm-ups, War. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they picked Snakewater. What are the other maps?
Badlands, then Gullywash, I want to say.
Badlands, then
Upward.
Gullywash.
Yeah, the other, they're playing Badlands and Gully. We've seen a lot of those. You know, Viaduct, as we've spoken about all weekend long, is being avoided. Even though there is some nice close finishes on it and whatnot. But I mean, what do you pick if not? I mean, you pick Granary. What's?
I mean, the thing is that I'm not quite sure why they would pick Snakewater after they struggled on it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, especially on the last pushes.
Yeah.
Last holds. So, doing that does seem to be quite of a strange decision. Badlands, I think, will possibly favour froyotech just because it's a little bit more open, but we'll have to see. It's been the whole thing throughout this game where people have been winning the opposition's map picks.
Yeah,
so,
really has been. Are there any adjustments? Do you think we're waiting on logs? We're going to get them here shortly in a moment. Are there any adjustments? I mean, do Full Tilt have to do anything differently or what?
If they play like they did at the start of the map, like they was opening sort of 5-10 minutes, Full Tilt were on fire, like just winning everything. There was nothing Froyo could do. They were just getting smashed repeatedly.
Yeah.
And then Full Tilt just sort of calmed down. I think that they were on a last hold for quite a long time. Very similar situation that we saw yesterday, holding it for 9-minute failed last holds. And from there, they never really recovered. The mids were always quite scrappy. Every time they were going forward, it seemed like they'd just lose the wrong person at the wrong time, or Kos would go down right at the end of it. Every time it looked like they finally got ahead of steam and like momentum back behind them, they'd lose Kos at just the wrong time. Like, they didn't lose them a lot, but just at the wrong time.
Timing is usually a big thing. Thanks to our friend Josh here, we're informed that they could have picked Granary or Reckoner. They didn't. Something to note. We'll pull up the logs here to have a look and see if anything jumps out at us. Rough. I liked the rough comment. What are we looking at here, boys?
Well, this is like a normal time, and it's incredibly strange to see a team that is leading in frags on all the classes and not win.
Yeah.
I do kind of feel, and it's something that constantly happens, is when they swap out Thalash to Sniper, and that's what they try to use to break the deadlock. And we saw yesterday on, referring back to the Gullywash game against Jasmine T, where they completely stomped them with just aggression. And, like, playing the game slow, which is obviously not your style, and just doing it yourself anyway, just seemed to be like a poor sort of, I feel like, approach to the game. Like, with how dominant they were at the start, well, they could have completely sort of thrashed them, I felt.
Look how many deaths for some of the Froyo players. 22 deaths for Paddy, 7, 6, and 22.
I mean, it's a map where it's very difficult for Paddy to really do a lot, because it's all the channels of entry are quite sort of close together, so it's very predictable, and to
Map's
see
huge as well.
Yeah, and prepare for the jumps. So you not only do you have to cover a lot of distance, it's kind of obvious where they're going to come from.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, 22 deaths and 7 kills, he's pretty much been a non-factor.
Yep.
Like, even on last pushes, he was just sort of doing the whole solo suicide again. And yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with Full Tilt, because they've been in this situation before. Like, they could have, you know, done their research and had a check and see what these players prefer and how they play, but they didn't really address it.
Yeah, well, we can have a look at the Golden Cap logs perhaps in a minute here as well. We'll bring up actually some more, get some more detail maybe on the main logs. We don't typically glean too much from the Golden Cap logs. Do we have class stats here, heal stats and whatnot? Yay, nay?
I think just going back to that sniper pick briefly as well, it feels like when they started, they were trying to, I guess, simplify things. Just play the game they want to play, don't overcomplicate it. And they kind of went back to that sniper thing, which is sort of, like you said, a trait of their previous problems, what they want to move away from. But it did almost work. It just took too long. Like, that last push.
Yeah, it did take too long, and that is the ultimate problem, and that's the problem that they've had from all last season, where against Crowns, I mean, I remember the Snakewater game that they played against them, and it was just like literally a battle between Thalash and Stark for what seemed like an eternity. And everybody was just waiting for the sweet release of death. I mean, I know I was, because I was watching it. It was terrible. But even so, it just seems to be sort of like, it's a very, very unreliable way to address the game. I mean, look at the kill difference. It's 56 to 87. That
enormous.
Is absolutely shocking. They won most mids.
These don't look like logs from a 2-2 game.
No, they really don't. And especially not one then that went on to be won by froyotech.
Exactly.
How about Paddy, by the way, getting his way into the heal stats for Full Tilt? How about healing a spy at I58? Thoughts on that?
That's a feat. It happens. I think Dunk did it. What was it, I43, where he healed a spy, and he Ubered him. Yeah, he Ubered the spy, and he killed Numlock, didn't he?
Numlock tried to pipe the spy because he knew it was a spy. Unfortunately, he's a medic.
Can't do that. Yeah.
Self-damage.
It's impossible.
Can we touch on Banny killing himself at one point in that map as well?
Yeah, I'm with. Let's finish up the logs here real quick. What else? Are we getting the Golden Cap log?
Was that a subtle threat to his team? You know, if we don't win this, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, sounds like Banny.
It's really like an analogy, sort of an extended metaphor. I mean, we're having a look. Like we say, there's not too much to glean from that. Banny, of course, having a great Golden Cap. I mean, is this the new strategy, just sort of survive the regular time and then go to the Golden Cap and finally turn it on? Perhaps. Perhaps not.
It's it's very underwhelming, I feel, from the end result of this game, just because of how much I thought Full Tilt had it in the bag when they won mid.
Yeah, everyone did. As we said, we've had a lot of great crowd shots. We have a lot more fans than we've got seats. A lot of people lining up here, and this is just the lower bracket final. Is the crowd there? Are they gone? Hello, crowd? TF2? They're not going to respond to a North American. What am I thinking?
Please respond.
The one guy cheering for Froyo.
We need a
Good
hype
for him.
master.
Yeah.
Luckily, I am here to build the hype.
Yeah. Well, we do have possibly 2 maps coming up. We're heading on next, I believe, to Badlands. The team's taking a really quick break. You know, I have to imagine if you're Full Tilt. Well, I mean, what do you think's going through the minds of Full Tilt? You guys know the players, and you know sort of how they operate. Are they getting tilted, all jokes aside, or are they still calm?
I think they're going to be trying really hard to put out the back of their minds. And what they have got is they completely outplayed froyotech.
Yeah,
for pretty much the entirety of that. They won
not much to be upset about.
Yeah, they were the better team. Frags, everything. mids, they just dominated the entire thing, at which point they lost, which is unfortunate, but they know they can outplay, and they've just proven to themselves and to everyone, we are better than you, we can outplay you. They just need to follow it through, put the whole complete thing together.
So no worries, War.
There would still be worries. I think this map is a little bit better. froyotech did beat Crowns 5-1 on this map, I believe. Or am I making that up? So, yeah, they do have that to their advantage, and this is their pick. But in tradition, well, as a tradition, froyotech will now lose this map because it was their choice.
Well, we'll see. We've made our way to Badlands, and again, with the call, we've got our boys, the famous TF2 esports broadcasters, Bren and Sideshow.
I thought we were getting replaced by Arx and Beta there, where it said famous TF2 esports broadcasters. No. I think this game, Full Tilt have shot themselves in the foot right from the map draft process. It was literally all they were talking about all last night as well. All of the discussion was about the map draft process. They didn't really know what to do. They don't have a good grasp of the maps that they feel the most comfortable on, and they don't really have a good grasp of the maps that froyotech are weak on in the kind of regular maps. And just taking a look at it here, so froyotech start out with a ban on product, which is, you know, reasonable. Is what they've been doing for a lot of the event. They said that they're way more comfortable on 5CP maps. Okay. Full Tilt reply with a ban on process. I think that's completely understandable as well. It's not a map that they're like great at. They don't particularly like the dry push through the choke and things like that. So fine. This is the point at which I think Full Tilt throw it away, because their first pick is Snakewater. There's a Granary, which froyotech have been banning a couple of times, and they were able to really excellently grind out a win against Jasmine T on that map, Full Tilt, and they choose not to pick that. But even more importantly, there's Reckoner in there.
Yeah, that is bizarre.
That the North Americans don't play, they haven't had practice on, and it used to be a pocket pick for Full Tilt, and they have some strats on it, so they choose not to pick that one, and instead pick Snakewater, leave it to froyotech to pick Badlands, which I think was an understandable and easily foreseen pick. Yeah. And then the two maps that they most want to be in the pool are the last three remaining maps, of which you can only pick one. So Gully Wash, they feel fairly comfortable on after their victory yesterday against Jasmine. Reckoner, they should feel comfortable on. And Granary is kind of a bit of a wild card, but I think it would probably favor Full Tilt in that situation as well. So they really messed it up, I think. I think they shot themselves in the foot with their map draft process, and now they're looking at the end of their tournament life on Badlands. If froyotech come out with the same kind of performance they did against Crowns, it was really excellent. They were able to coordinate things really well on Badlands, and they were able to get in through all of the defenses. So I think Full Tilt are at a... They've got their backs up against the wall here. This is going to be really difficult, but we're going on to our second map, CP Badlands. This could be the last map for Full Tilt at Insomnia 58. Are they going to be able to claw it back, though? It looks like Ale is AFK. No, Full Tilt are giving up already.
It's a bit of a reset. We're having a reset, guys.
They've just given up.
We're going home.
Ale failed his rollout, and they just decided to give up.
They've tilted off the back of that and just decided...
Yeah, it's time to leave. Now, they will be going into this fairly shortly. I imagine there's some kind of technical problem for a single player, or they weren't quite ready and accidentally readied up or something. I'm not sure, but we will be going into our second map very shortly. Bren, what do you think of Full Tilt on Badlands? Have you seen them play it recently against top teams? Where do you think their form is on this map?
I feel like whenever I see them play against Crowns on this map, it is difficult for them, and that's where the majority of their experience is obviously going to be coming from, because they haven't, hardly ever had a chance to play against these international teams up until this event. So even when they're playing against Crowns, they're used to this play style where Starkey will go behind the enemy lines all the time and just cause absolute mayhem and pulling them back and forth. And I think Froyo, if they do exploit this, they could potentially see them taking it. And I mean, it was their pick as well. They are comfortable on it. They came back from it against Crowns at some point. And are we going live?
It looks like we are going live with our second map. It is CP Badlands here between Full Tilt and froyotech. Here we go. This is the last chance for Full Tilt, the second European team left in this tournament, but for froyotech, it's all the North Americans' hopes and dreams. Are they going to be able to deliver for the North American continent, or will they end up
moving in now? This is the mid-fight kicking off. We see Paddy taking a lot of damage. Thalash picks up the first kill, no issues there. And now Banny might be in a bit of trouble. He's trying to dodge and juke them, but Free State in the back lines has brought him down. At the same time, Mike somehow has wiggled his way into the house area, brings down the medic 404. So Froyo in a very sticky situation as it stands, as Free State is going to have to back out. He's on half health, and Koss survives. So this is an interesting turn of events. I mean, this was Froyo's pick, and Full Tilt just showing him who's boss.
Oh, Full Tilt looks super strong on all of the mid fights so far. Their cohesion and their strategies that they're bringing to the mid are, at the moment, way better than froyotech's. The area where they're falling down is, despite getting all of the kills and all of the damage in the entirety of the map, as soon as they start falling back, froyotech get way more ground off a single team fight. And so Full Tilt have to stop crumbling as soon as they're on the defense.
Well, this is it. They're trying to take the fight to them. TLR brings down Talenta's Uber now, being forced by Paddy. So Koss maybe put into a position that he didn't really want to be in too early on. And now Full Tilt have no choice but to back all the way out. Ali going to be absolutely getting munched in the process. A bit unusual by Moomer there. You usually see him at the back of the fights rather than leaping into the fray. And now Froyo look to take it even further. Mike is spamming them out, so they are on half health, doing a pretty good job of just basically keeping them out for as long as possible. But now Full Tilt, they realize they have lost this mid, they've lost the push, so to speak, and now being forced to be on the
look what
back foot.
happens once again. froyotech, with one Uber advantage, are able to take at least 2 points. They take way more room whenever they do have an advantage than Full Tilt do. They just use their play is a lot better within their team. They're making better decisions than Full Tilt are.
Well, this is it now. They're moving in on them. Paddy is right onto the back line, of course. Ali might be falling as well. Salentes in a bit of trouble, potentially. No, he does bring down Free State, and the Uber now going to be popped off by Froyo. Just fading in the nick of time, but Mike has been securing these kills. In the meantime, it is a 4v4 fight that is still being taken. The medics still alive. Now, Moomer being jumped by Salentes is getting the heals, but at the same time, Full Tilt striking back. 4-4 is going to surf away, but his team are not with him whatsoever. So I believe he is going to get chased down and brought down in the end. That's one quick kill that Ast has claimed. And a bit of a 1v1 kicking off, as Ast is going to lose that against Free State underneath the midpoint. But Full Tilt, they have managed to regain a little bit of ground. Free State has wiggled his way behind.
Banny's in onto Koss as well, does get taken out. The pocket of Salentes there, not going to be losing his medic. And yeah, the back cap is going on. Free State on the Spire. They're having to jump it. Alice really weak and actually loses it and manages to cap there. Free State going huge for his team.
He got the drop onto Koss. My God. That was ridiculous. He just leaped right into them. He knew the distraction play by Free State had set them up, and now Froyo, they got 100% Uber advantage pretty much. Moving in, they've got their medic, they've got the players, and now they're going in for the kill, right onto the jugular. But not if Mike can help it. He is moving in as we speak. He's putting in a lot of damage, hitting a few of these rockets right now. However, 404 is going to have a bit of a Uber advantage to work off here. Crits Creek now coming out by Koss. Really a bit of desperation plays in full force for Full Tilt.
froyotech are looking really good in the way that they're setting up these situations. Free State behind, I mean, he manages to get behind without them realizing, caps the point as well as taking down the demo, and sets up the room to be coordinated with TLR. It's excellent teamwork between the members of froyotech, and now Banny's going to lead the Uber charge in on the top left. They realize that there's a sentry there built by Thalash. He's going to go back into spawn and switch off. Alice above the point, and everyone from Full Tilt just wants to stay alive in this situation. Of course, started to get a bit weak. He's back in spawn. 4-4's dropped down to the ground as well as Mike's up top. He takes 2 with him. Moomer and putting a lot of damage onto Banny. Free State falling as well. And that's a push successfully repelled.
That's going to be it. Full Tilt, they claim the kills, and they are looking to claim the Spire as well. Very good strategic point. That high ground position is incredibly valuable. Froyo, oh, Mike denies the soldiers from Froyo with one quick air shot. Crit screen now coming out. 404 pays of his life because of it, and now Ali with the pipes brings down Banny. And that is going to be a very, very large swing of momentum, a very, very large swing in kills as well. It's all going away at Full Tilt as it stands. Free State is behind them, but Mike is there to defend it. Let's see if they can claim this midpoint, however, before it becomes too much of an issue. TLR now in that housing area. There are 2 members of Froyo still behind them, and Mike is trying his hardest to try and keep them off. He's still alive right now, and he has staved them off long enough for Full Tilt to cap the mid, but still now moving in off the back of this. They're trying to take this fight when they've got still players missing.
Paddy! destroying hits the direct onto the scout. He's going to crush the rest of the team here as well, and this is Full Tilt making mistakes, not being able to capitalize on the advantage that had been given to them. They don't deal with the players that are behind them. Free State and Paddy, Mike was stuck in a 1v2, and as soon as they capped up the midpoint there, your best option is always to go behind, back and deal with the players who are stuck behind. Make sure you deal with them and give yourself a 2-pick advantage and move forward. But now Mike going to try and say, whiffing the jump.
He was very much in a position there. TLR going to be jumping onto him. He does get the trade, in fact. It's a 1v1 for now. Thalash, however, is down for such a long time. He's down for 20 seconds now as Froyo, they're moving in. They've got 100% Uber to work off as well. And this could be what Froyo needs to get around on the board as they're looking to move in. Banny and Free State leading the charge. And now with the sentry gun, putting in a lot of work actually. They can't actually bring it down. The beefs are coming out by Paddy. He just can't hit the shots quite just yet. Paddy finally going to be assisting, bringing it down. 2 players currently falling, but 3 on the side of Froyo.
That's awful from froyotech there. Really terrible focus fire to take down that sentry. Just, it was surviving on a trickle of health. They could have killed Ast as well, but instead they just keep hammering shots into a sentry that was only level 1 anyway and wasn't going to deny anything. And they completely lose that push with Uber advantage and 2 picks because the focus fire and team fight there was making some really bad decisions, but that's going to leave the game at 0-0. But now Full Tilt on their last, and we know that to get maximum tilt out of this team, you just push them onto their last and leave them there.
Well, Full Tilt looking to try and take the fight to them. Silentes, he leaps forward. Uber now being popped off by them. Thalash wins the 1v1 against Paddy. Free State still in the back lines as well as TLR. And they are picking players off at the same time. Silentes, the Uber has faded now. He's trying to take this fight. The back cap.
Coming out from Free State there. Yeah, Free State, Paddy and TLR all dive behind. They were chasing TLR, who did still manage to escape on single digits of health with his escape plan out. And as he was leading everybody around the merry swings and turns of Badlands, Free State snuck in behind, and he's going to take that back cap on Badlands. So dangerous when you're pushing out from Spire, and they didn't get any cap time there. Everyone really preoccupied with dealing with both of the soldiers, and so that's going to be 1-0 to froyotech.
And it feels like these sort of flanking plays are really, really hurting them as it stands now. Froyo moving across the mid-fight. Full Tilt want to meet them head-on, getting in a lot of damage. In fact, Free State dropping to double digits of HP. Paddy trying to leap round. A lot of shots coming out. Ali finds the first. Silentes with a follow-up. Thalash as well. These are 4 quick, easy kills coming out for the Full Tilt guys right now. And Paddy, really, he is still behind. He could be going for a play right now, but he's going to be brought down by Mike. 1 fell swoop. 1 rocket is all he needs, and Ali is...
Ali's chasing really hard to see whether he could get onto Forfo, but he just didn't have the health. He did a sticky kind of a surf around the choke there and landed. He was so weak, wasn't really able to chase, but now the Uber's coming in and Forfo doesn't quite have it. He's only on 57% in fact, so surely they're going to be able to pick people up here. Banny and Forfo both falling. Free State eventually now, but the flank from Muma is going to pick up a few players, and they look like they're going to be able to hold this. Thalash clean up. He's able to. Where is Ast? Ast now just going to stream in into upper lobby. Muma doesn't see him.
Is he going to get this kill? This is all on Muma right now. He's trying to play it. He clutches it in the end with a pipe. Pulling it out in the end. Ast just about falls, but now everyone from Full Tilt moving in. The 5 players up. They've got the heals, and they are on the second. And Froyo still holding back TLR now. Looks like he might want to go for a play. He's up in the air. He's going to crater, is he not? Indeed he is.
See you later, son.
Good night, good night. But now, Froyo still holding on to their last point right now. Full Tilt looking like they want to dry push this. Silentes, he's moving in. He's got off 1 rocket. Can he get the follow-up? Yes, indeed. Mike is there to back him up, and they get a second one. And this is the intro that they possibly needed to get right into the back of this. Now, the cap is starting to come out. A bit of cap time already. The Uber now being popped off by Froyo. But can they defend this? Corsi's so close, but they cannot get the kill onto him. So he's going to have the Uber to play off this. And this looks like curtains for Froyo for now. The cap is being popped off, and that is going to be Full Tilt equalising it up. 1-1 is the scoreline.
Mike's happy about that, so is Mad CV in the background, and as is our crowd, because Full Tilt starting to get back into this one. They've tied it up. This is the second map. This is their life on the line in terms of i58. If they lose this map, they are out of the tournament, and if they're able to beat froyotech on Badlands, I'll be fancying their chances going into Gully Wash as well, but it all hinges on this map. And froyotech at the moment, to be honest, have looked like the better team on everything apart from the mids, but the mids are giving Full Tilt such an advantage to push it into last. So we'll see whether they're able to replicate that kind of success again.
Full Tilt now opting to try and move across the point while froyotech cut off in this position in the valley area. In fact, Silentes is moving in as a fight's kicking off all over the place. Silentes finds TLR. Ali with the follow-up onto Banny, and these are kills once again. Very familiar situation that we are used to seeing. Now Mike moving in. He wants the frag onto 404, but Mumu with the predictor plays. Ali, can he do it? He's just about missed it. He leaps in, hits off one pill, doesn't connect the other ones, which is unfortunate for them, but Froyo going to be happy that they do at least escape with that. A did fall.
Certainly worth going for there from Ale to jump in that situation. If he just hits one last pipe, then he's really put his team in an excellent situation. Now, for Full Tilt here, they want to be trying to do the same things. They want to be trying to get in onto the backhand, and Thalash is there. He's surely not going to be able to get it, though, because there's so many players back for froyotech, but that might allow the rest of Full Tilt to kill Paddy, kill Free State, and set themselves up to mitigate this uber advantage that 404 had. And Mike's in on last as well.
Oh, he's been jumped by TLR. Oh, he kissed the trade anyway.
How does he get the trade in every one of these situations?
I don't know. I really
Mike
don't
on
know.
LAN, Pog champ.
5 ping rockets, that's where they're at. But right now, Full Tilt, they've lost their star player. Ali is moving in. Went for a little play there along with Silentes.
I don't know what's going on there from Ali and Silentes, and Thalash is hanging around forwards as well, but everyone else, the positioning from Aston Kos was miles out behind. I think they may be trying to bait them into a push, and that's what 404 and the rest of his team have done. They're taking a fight on the Grey Bridge here. Thalash is in on last as well, as Mike and Silentes pound damage into these players that are all around Spire. But Banny is doing work for his team as usual. Amazing plays from the soldiers.
In the midst of all this, 4-4 has gone down now, so Full Tilt in a very solid position to try and take this, but Ali is pretty much all alone on last. Ast did fall in the midst of it. He's trying to take this 2v1 now. He's so weak. And there we go. Free State secures the kill in the end. But right now, 4-4, he fell to Thalash in the background while that Clown Fiesta was going on by Spire. And Kos has built himself up a sizable advantage right now.
Thalash is going to be able to get in onto last, and there's nobody there.
There's no one there.
This is it. Thalash is going to be able to get it.
This is curtains. This is it. They can't respond.
Just capping it up, and he's going to be able to take it there.
Wow, well.
And that is the issue with Badlands. There are so many flanking routes, and Froyo, you know, they wanted to dry push out from last because they knew that Kos had an advantage anyway. But they get caught there, and that's exactly what Full Tilt need to do, because the natural counter in 5CP to a team bunching up and pushing into you is to abuse their flank, to either back cap or to get a pick or something like that. And you have to be able to do that when you're at a disadvantage, to mitigate Ubers or to be able to deal with a big team fight. But let's see if Full Tilt are again going to be able to perform on mid. So far, they've had froyotech's number every single time.
Absolutely right now. Thalash eating quite a bit of damage. Paddy now trying to basically block them from across the point. Everyone is weak from Froyo, actually. They're going to have to back off, get some heals. TLR does kill Ali, so that's going to be a bit of area denial missing for them. Paddy getting in as well. Some solid rockets. Both the scouts on Full Tilt are quite weak. The positioning by them as well, a bit questionable, but they are getting the kills. They are winning the mid time and time again, but now it is currently a 5v4, and now the Ubers coming out by both these teams, exchanging, trying to take the fight straight on. Can they focus down the targets that currently do not hold those flashing seconds of invulnerability? And this fight is so scrappy and so strung out as it stands.
Mike is in.
He's moving in
really
to 4-4.
Oh, he's not able to get that last rocket off, and everyone was so weak there. It looks like froyotech are going to come out in control of this one.
Or are they? Silentes, my goodness, he's going for the skill stick, but he didn't quite reach it in the end. He almost hit that rocket onto 4. Well, that would have been pretty nuts if he did, but Full Tilt.
Yeah, Froyo managed to string that one out and had the Uber charge, and so far Froyo's Ubers have been far better than Full Tilt's. So I think they just got the advantage in that situation. TLR and 404, but I think probably mainly TLR is being able to use these Ubers in a much better way than Kos and Silentes, and Mike was helping in that one as well. But TLR, certainly one of the best things that he's been doing this LAN so far is the use of those Ubers that he's been given on froyotech.
That's what he was so well known for as well back in the day, just really just putting the Uber all on him and just putting putting in so much work.
Put your faith in Tyler.
Yeah, exactly. And now you see full tilt on the back foot for a little while. It's an unfamiliar situation so far that we've seen. They've really kind of been in the driving seat when it comes to mids, but Froyo, let's see if they can try and take it with their what seems like superior coordination and maneuverability. And they are waiting for a potential pick off. Ast is going to be either checking classes, or he might just, yeah, he's going to be checking for the enemy off classes now, disguised as the sniper. He sees that they are currently not running. A bit of a sack attempt as well.
Mooma's going to get caught, and Paddy went down as well to the Widowmaker from Thalash. And they are going to be starting to extend now into upper lobby and seeing if they can chase out froyotech. I like the aggression here from Full Tilt. They're making sure that they've covered all the entrances, but they're also moving out really quickly. They're spotting players from Froyo, Free State and Tyler, though. Going to be very difficult to shift off that Spire. And the pill onto Banny. Really well played. And they force off the Uber early from 404, so Koss is going to have a slightly better one here. Free State falls as well. If Paddy's able to do anything. No, Mike's already on last. This is a really well-executed push from Full Tilt, but I don't think they know that Paddy's there, so he has the potential to do something afterwards.
He's going to be meeting him head-on right now, trying to take that 1v1. Is he going to be able to win it? Mike being forced to back off a little bit, so Paddy might still be able to get some work done in the end feed. He does. Slentus does clean him up, but yeah, Paddy, nicely done by him, creating a bit of room. TLR moving in now, jumps in around the corner, not getting the damage in that he so wished, but somehow he gets out. That was impressive stuff.
They're just prodding at the moment. Both of the teams know that it's a really crucial map. It's the most important map here for Full Tilt.
Yeah.
They find themselves in a good position, really. They're 2-1 up as we reach the half-time of Badlands. But Froyo, if they're able to dry push and get them on the retreat, like we saw on Snake, Full Tilt have a large potential to crumble. They have to hold strong here, and they have to try and meet them head-on in these fights. Mooma takes a pill head-on, though, and he's going to have to head back. He's so weak. He's only on 20 health. And Paddy and TLR, they're looking for a pick, and Thalash is going to run right in there. He's surely going to get caught. And that was just exactly what the froyotech soldiers were waiting for.
Now they're going to be moving in through the resupply area, trying to get on the back lines of Mike. Banny wants to try and test his metal against him. Uber now coming out by them. Mike ends up killing himself in the process. A bit unfortunate for him there. Now Froyo leading forward with the Uber. They do have a player disadvantage by one, but at the same time, Mike is down. And they haven't seen Banny coming in from behind. And Koss, the quick 1-2, doesn't stand a chance. And now here comes the collapse by Froyo as they're trying to move into the back of it. Ali going to be falling. Slentus might be following suit as well. Asta's dead. Banny now trying to take this fight. He is going to be falling to Slentus.
It's a 3v3 with Mike back on the scene, but he's so far away. Mooma should be able to take this one with the help of Banny. All they have to do is clean up the single scout from Thalash. But Mike is in on the flank as well. In the meantime, having slowed them down, they have no clue, and Mike's in. Is he going to be able to get onto it? Oh my God! What is that? He's unbelievable. Mike Adams, he's just out of shot there in the bottom right, but Max behind him just cannot believe it. What is going on with it? He just turns up to every LAN. He's the best soldier I've ever seen.
God. Honestly, he's like the Gareth Bale of TF2. It's ridiculous. He does turn up every LAN, and now Full Tilt moving forward. Got the momentum off the back of that. Froyo want to try and take them head on. Shots being exchanged, rockets as well being fired. Ast, very weak. Banny and Free State. And Free State going in huge. He's picked up Koss. That's going to be no medic. Can he finish Ali? Yes, he can. Very quick and clean kills by them. My goodness. And that is a complete 180 from what we've just seen.
Yeah, I can understand it from Full Tilt. They feel like they're doing well in the team fights. They want to engage off the back of that big play. Oh, hello. We nearly got a spawn camp going on there. Yeah. But Full Tilt really executed that one terribly. They had all 6 players just walking in through choke. They didn't have any of their soldiers jumping deep to try and engage or initiate. They didn't have anyone going through resub to try and flank. It was, it was very poor. It was just literally let soldiers walk in through choke.
Now Froyo looking to move in. They've got the 100% Uber advantage. You're going to wait for their players, wait for the buffs. And there we go. TLR leading the charge. They spot the sentry gun. It's going to be spammed down by Mooma very, very quickly now. They're going to be forcing pretty much all of Full Tilt to try and back off. Ali is hidden in the tube. So now Full Tilt could be in a better position to try and take this fight. And now Froyo looking to drop down, trying to take the fight to them. They're focusing down the players around the back. And now they could look to see if they can try and move in on this. TLR finds Thalash. It's still a fight that's kicking off. Froyo have the one-man advantage. Ast is trying his hardest to try and kite them around a little bit. It's really all how they play this to the sea. Ast picks up TLR. Have they really held on?
That's terrible by froyotech. It's really terrible because they played it so perfectly and were able to pick up Mike and Silentes, and then there's only 2 scouts remaining. They kill Thalash, and they just don't know what to do with Ale. It's like they were just dumbfounded. They didn't have any kind of plan of how to deal with that. They didn't suicide a player on the point and then try and drag Cost down, who was nowhere near his uber charge. I don't know. I think there was just a clear lack of creativity or understanding of how to deal with Ale in the tube.
But this is it. Uber's now being popped off around this stone grey bridge. Silentes might be in a bit of trouble. In fact, Vanny is going to be the first one to bring him down. TLR leaps forward. Rocket jumping away, seeing if he can connect onto any more players. But with this two-player disadvantage now, Froyo looking to take the fight straight to them. Ali might be in a bit of trouble. He's very, very weak. Can they get the damage in? Banny now onto course. Brilliant rocket by TLR. That's going to be no medic now, and there's only Silentes left alive. Muma getting the cap time in, and that is going to be equalization for froyotech as they take it to 2-all.
They can breathe a sigh of relief there because after failing a couple of pushes onto Full Tilt's last, they eventually deliver after Full Tilt fail a push out from Badlands. But I'm kind of glad that they're taking the opportunity to push out.
Yeah.
You know, they're not getting stuck on last. They're not putting themselves in a bad mental situation. However, the end result of it was that they lost the round. But now it's 2-2 with 10 minutes remaining in our final third of the map and possibly the final 10 minutes of Full Tilt's tournament life.
It's all coming down to this now. All the pressure on Full Tilt to try and secure this map. Banny taking the lead across the point, trying to get in that early damage, falling a little bit weak as well. At the same time, we see Paddy creating a bit of distraction plays, leaping, jumping around, hopping a skip. Silentes finds TLR at the same time. Free State going huge. Muma with the follow-up. There's a lot of kills going away, but at the same time, 4-4 is very, very weak. He could be in a lot of trouble here as they're trying to take this fight. But can they do it? Muma in the back lines. He's been caught up by Ast. Ast finds the kill against him. And now I think Froyo are in, really, they're still trying to take this fight on 3v3. 4-4 is finally regened right back up to full health. Uber's now going to be popped out. Kost's just milking it for days like a Swedish dairy farmer, going to town on them. And here we go. The forward aggression by Full Tilt as they're trying to find the kill. Paddy is going to be dying to Mike. Ast also wants to try his DM against pretty much everyone on froyotech right now, but Full Tilt.
Are they just going to try and walk in through the choke here, though? And this is exactly what froyotech want them to do. Thalash in behind, but he's not able to do anything there. And a slightly better execution from them in that they got Thalash behind. But by the time Thalash was in, Full Tilt had already backed out through the choke. So while the idea was better, the timing was still off. And they're not able to push in again.
But this is it now. Froyo moving in. They're trying to get the damage in. TLR firing off a few rockets, and they're really Full Tilt giving up a lot of room. Ali trying to deny them off, but he's fallen so weak. He's had to back all the way off. And Froyo going to be happily claiming this mid-fight at least, and a player kill on top of that. Silentes falling to Banny. And with that, they look to make their move on to the second point.
I'm not really sure why they're falling back here, Full Tilt, because they should still be able to hold this one. They have the Uber. Mike is being pressured, though, and he goes down. That's really important. And that's a really well-placed opening for froyotech. And now they're going to take the Uber trade. TLR surely going to get focused down here. He's so weak. How is he still alive? Whoa, eventually, Ast picks him up, but at the cost of 3 players from Full Tilt. And now they are looking.
Ast needs to go for 4-4. Muma just about picks him up. Very close to that, and now Froyo really just putting the pedal to the metal. Is really, really hard for Full Tilt now to try and stave off this. There's only one player up, Mike. The cap is being capped off. All the players are respawning. Oh, they've actually defended it in the nick of time, but have they done it? No! Froyo, in the nick of time, they run onto the point and secure a round. There are 7 minutes and 40 seconds left, and Froyo once again stealing away this 1 round advantage.
This is incredibly close between these two teams, but Full Tilt are making more of the mistakes. They seem to have a higher level of deathmatch or individual skill, but the way that froyotech are punishing them for making mistakes in the timing and execution on pushes is giving them a huge amount of room to breathe, despite losing the majority of the mids. So Full Tilt have got to try and pull it together. Have got to try and minimize their own mistakes in order to bring this one back, because they're currently 3-2 down. That first pick on Banny is certainly going to help.
Absolutely. Now with that 1 player advantage, they're going to be moving in. They're trying to jump onto Ali, but Silentes has followed up. TLR does find a kill. 4-4 ends up finishing up Mike somehow, somewhere. Not sure how that happened, but it's really to no avail as everyone is pretty much defeated right now. Silentes the last to clean up. Kost still alive, and Full Tilt looking to press forward. 100% Uber under their belts.
And it really should be a 3-3 game at the end result of this round, because they have a full Uber advantage. Once they get all of their players here, this really should be a clean execution into last. They're setting themselves up so perfectly for it with their victories on every single mid-fight. You can't understate how much advantage that gives you in the round, but they're just unable to deliver on it. I do actually think they've won all but one of the mids, and yet still they're 3-2 down. They're also getting a huge amount of damage and kills, and yet they're still 3-2 down. froyotech are making the better decisions overall. We'll see if it helps their defense.
They're moving in now. Koss being forced to pop off the Uber finally, trying to take it from that one-hand side. Still Stickies on the point, so they can't really get too much done. They baited the Stickies out, so now they can start to try and play it. TLR trying to move on to it. Banny on heavy. It's not going to be enough. Is it surely? Full tilt. You can hear that roar from the crowd as they equalize it once again. This is one of the closest games we've seen between them. But this tournament, my God, it has been so back and forth with almost every single game we've shown.
It has actually been insane, because if the game ended like this as well, then every single map between these two teams in regulation time would have ended in a draw.
Yeah.
That's how close they are. You can separate them with the finest of differences. And the difference in the previous map came down to a golden cap that froyotech won. And Full Tilt will be hoping not to return to a golden cap on Badlands. They need the clean victory, both for them, their mental state as well. Look at that bomb in there from Mike.
Oh my
able
God.
to take down 404. Silentes as well, doing so much damage. And these mid-fights every single time are going the way of Full Tilt. Their individual level is so strong. And if you're froyotech in this situation, I mean, do you just try and play passive? Do you try and maybe not even turn up to mid as soon as you get a lead in this situation? I think you've got to start to consider options like this, because they're getting rolled on the mid fights.
There's no shame in just not turning up to mid at all. It is perfectly valid. We used to see teams do it, less
Classic
so now.
on Kaya strat.
Well, exactly, yeah. And I mean, again, some people might call it the pussy way out, but at the end of the day, if you are getting steamrolled on these mids, if you are losing your medic time and time again from these soldier bombs, the coordinations, you got to start to consider these sort of plays. And there's, the Twitch chat might not like it. They might be singing against Froyo's praises all day long, but
in the transition plays, in the Uber plays, froyotech look clearly better.
Yeah.
But in the scrappy team fights, as soon as Full Tilt are able to initiate, then they've got the advantage, and they certainly do in the last pushes and the mid fights.
Yeah.
But I'm just taking a look at 404 there, and they were arrow building in spawn in order to get that Uber charge up. Not that they needed to. Bit of a strange situation to be arrow building. I think they tend to only do it on last froyotech, whereas Full Tilt, they prefer to do it when pushing last to create themselves an Uber advantage. Certainly prefer the latter there rather than the former, but they haven't done it for a while, actually. We haven't seen anything creative yet from either of these teams in the way that they're pushing last. They're just trying for the tried and tested methods, and so far for Full Tilt it's been going pretty well. For Froyo as well have managed to execute on 3 of their last pushes. Freeze and Paddy though falling to the double soldier spam, a classic strategy there, pioneered by Epsilon back in the day, and it works out here perfectly for Full Tilt. They get set up, everyone from the flanker side, Ali as well with a pipe, and this surely now is going to be the round. Uber's traded, they need to buy enough time for the spawners to come in, and they are going to come in here.
Yeah, the spawners just about coming in for Froy now. They're trying to defend this, but the players are all up for Full Tilt. They're trying their hardest to keep them off. 4-4, last man standing. Mikey turns up when he's needed. The soldier spam was the initiation they needed. And my God, did it work out for them. That 2-man advantage just crippled Froyo. And with 3 minutes remaining, Full Tilt take it by 1 round still. And now, I mean, Froyo, at this point, these mids, what can they do? You've got to be feeling bad for them.
They certainly can't not turn up to mid in this situation, because that slows the game down, and they have to get back into it.
Don't have the time.
They don't have the time to do something like that. What they do have the time for is to try and just take their side and kill anybody who's trying to take control of their crate and try and play passive and make sure that they stay alive. The longer the mid fights have been going on for, the more the advantage they have. If it comes down to the Uber at the end, then 4-4 and Tyler are normally doing pretty well. Looks like a passive mid from both teams at the moment. Silentes going to try and initiate. Banny gets taken down, and Banny has been an early frag in almost every one of these mid fights, and they need him. Paddy gets mulched as he comes in there, just taken into the meat grinder, and Sil and Mike.
Whoa, what a kill! What a surf! He just literally glided around that corner into that house area and just hits off one pipe is all he needs. And he has, at the end of the day, I mean, there's only a few minutes remaining, but he has secured it for his team, at least slowed it down and not got the death, I guess I'm trying to get at here. Froyo, they do have a chance off the back of that one play.
They do, and they're running the Kriegskrieg as well. They know that the time is getting short. They have 2 minutes to win this round and tie it up, and the Crits is going to force the pace of the game to increase. Full Tilt currently with a very passive position. They want to make sure that they know where people are coming in from. I don't really like it. You should be holding further forwards than this on Badlands if you want to punish people as they come in through the choke. Now both of their soldiers starting to set up forwards. Do they think they have a large uber disadvantage? They're sat in basically the perfect position to receive a crit right in the face.
Look at this.
Oh my god, from Valley, this could be perfect
This
from
could
Mooma.
be beautiful. Mooma, he sent it in. First sticky, not connected. Can he get the second one? No. Just about missing now. They're trying to lead it forward. If they can get any kills at all, they do manage to clock Thalash, but he's not going to be brought down. And now the Uber by Full Tilt coming out, trying to punish Froyo for their incompetence, for their display of brashness. But at the end of the day, it was just a last-ditch effort. The Kriegskrieg coming out to try and see if they can make a massive play happen, and you've got to respect them for that.
Yeah, I think the setup was perfect for them. They read that really well going in from Valley there, but Kos just dived behind the train at the last moment. He's actually cut off from the rest of his team, so there's going to be no heals, but it doesn't even matter because Full Tilt are slamming froyotech there. As soon as the soldiers jumped in and there wasn't as much spam on choke, as soon as they get that initiation through a choke point, they're much better in the team fights. But froyotech so far have been really good at locking them down in the choke and making sure that they use that defensive advantage of everybody from the attacking team in one place, all taking the same damage from rockets. They have been previously able to hold on to it, but with 30 seconds remaining now, this has got to be here, a map win for Full Tilt. They've somehow done it. There's nothing that froyotech can do. 24 seconds, literally not enough time. The only question is whether this is going to be 4-3 or 5-3 to Full Tilt, because they have done it. They're going to gully wash.
I cannot believe this. It's every time. How many times has this happened now with the map picks for each team? And then they win on the opposing team's map pick.
I think it might come down to the knowledge that they have to do it. Like their backs are up against the wall, and they squeeze it out through sheer determination. I think that's the reason that we're seeing the people winning their opposing map picks.
Yeah.
TF2, it's not a game like Counter-Strike where the maps come into it to a huge degree.
Yeah.
Because you know, in a game like CS or something like that, or you've got very set positions on each maps. You've got strategies and executes that you work through. In TF2, it's a much broader sense that if you have the basics of 5CP teamwork down and your deathmatch is good and you've played a lot of the 5CP maps, then you can kind of plug and play certain strategies into different maps. They all follow the same basic structure. And so I think it really just comes down to which teams are firing on all cylinders on the day, and something that is very map dependent are the mid fights, and my god, were Full Tilt good at those mid fights. It was unreal, and I'm a little lost for words there. I really thought that Full Tilt were going out when we got onto Badlands, when they lost Snakewater there in that golden cap. I thought that's their tournament life over. They're going to get knocked out by froyotech, but it's going to come down to this final map. And to discuss what happened on Badlands, we have our team of analysts.
Here we are. It's okay that he can't pronounce Badlands. He's European. I don't know the exact quote. Well, tell you what, what's that?
It's quite new.
Yeah, it is very new.
New map, that one.
Anyone who thought that competitive TF2 was just build Uber push, we had a lot more than that on that map just then. Really spectacular. We were all sitting here just in awe. What are your thoughts? Surprising?
Yeah, kind of. Like after the map started and it was really close, I really didn't think. I thought Full Tilt were going to go out, but luckily for them, Mike is the best player in the world. And that's helpful.
He's got some good teammates too.
They're all right, yeah. But Mike was phenomenal. Silentes was great. Ast was great. And we saw, again, what we saw in the early part of Snakewater. Once they get going, they just can't be stopped. When they get a bit of momentum behind them and they keep going, especially on Badlands, a very momentum-based map, once they start going, there's no stopping them.
As we pull up the logs here to sort of break it down a little bit more. War, there was almost a feeling of Full Tilt waking up towards the end there, wasn't there? Or sort of getting their wake-up call, turning it on?
Yeah, I guess so, but for the whole map, they pretty much were very dominating.
Yeah.
Like, this is how I feel Snakewater should have gone. If they had lost this, that would be just absolutely disgusting. I would have been very sick.
Puking, yeah.
Yes, because
They should have won it.
yeah, like Silentes and Mike were insane this
Yeah.
game. They were absolutely ridiculous. Mike's like did a bomb from launchpad and killed 3 players by himself. Like it's good that they have these players that can step up. Like Ali was really good on as well in decision making, but I have to call out someone just because it wouldn't be me if I didn't insult people. Muma was awful.
Yeah.
Like his rollouts were just absolutely just
I don't think
know.
he could leave a window jump.
I know. I can't believe that.
I can't do the window
In
jump.
2016.
Yeah.
It's current
Nobody
year.
sent me to i58 though.
Can someone get Muma a calendar?
It's honestly like just. I mean, I'm not the best at rollouts, but I can at least jump to balcony.
Yeah,
He couldn't do
somewhere
that.
near balcony.
Yeah.
How about you know, to sort of give credit to the losing side, I was impressed by 404's play. I felt at certain times that he had a guardian angel looking over him as he looked dead to rights. At least twice I can think of. Once at choke where Ali had him in the headlights and just could not capitalize, and 404 would be surfing away or doing his thing. So at the very least, fantastic play out of Brad.
Yeah.
You know, other than that, we're going to have a look. Look at this, 124 frags, 43K damage to 37K. Just very dominant, as you guys
pretty much
both
every
said.
mid apart from one was won by Full Tilt, and it was done convincingly as well on pretty much most of them. Like, I do want to give credit as well to Free State. He had like an absolutely ridiculous moment. I think it was like maybe a 4 or 5K.
Yep.
Absolutely ridiculous. He really did show up big. And again, I think this is the problem. It's like these players, that they can't rely on one person. Like, there's no clockwork for froyotech anymore.
Yeah.
You know, Banny can't get carried this time. Like, they all individually have to completely step up to the plate and go massive. Or, I mean, the mid fights on Snakewater, I'm pretty sure it felt like it went the same way. But losing like all these mid fights in such convincing fashion, just getting out DM'd across the whole board, is just something that is going to be really concerning. And Gullywash is not a map that, I mean, they used to be absolutely phenomenal on when they had the good players of froyotech.
Yep.
They're not there anymore, so that does mean that, you know, it might not be as strong as they were. I mean, against Crowns, they really struggled.
And look at those mids as well. Like, I don't think they won a mid on Snakewater. froyotech this is, and they won, what, 2 out of 7 there?
Yeah, I think that was
So what's that? That's about 12 rounds, I'm guessing. But
small
12 mids,
percentage.
and they've won, what, yeah,
We've
maybe
been,
fewer for mids, and it's always going to be hard to come back from that.
It's, you're right. They've only won 2 mids.
Wow.
in these 2 maps. That's
2
a
mids
mid
in an
each on
hour.
that. Yeah. Wow.
wow,
2 mids in an
mathematics.
hour.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting for this map. I'm sure they can't wait to get to middle.
Yeah, we've been on a
They've got all the time in the world.
Yeah, they actually have to wait to get to middle.
We've
They
been on the
can't go that
TLR
way.
watch and talking about TLR. Is he warming up at all? Or are you guys still disappointed in TLR? Real quick as we get ready for an interview here.
It's difficult.
Still waiting?
I feel. I think TLR really has to sort of. There's very little that he can do as a pocket. I feel like Silentes is also doing. He had a really good game, but sometimes pockets can be silent. They're just there to be the anchor.
Sure.
Muma
Agreed.
needs to step up. Muma's the player who needs to step up.
We will see. Well, we have eXtine standing by, I believe. Is that what we're throwing to? All right. Well, Dreamboat, I'm told. Well, let's toss it over to the interview area.
Yow! What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to our interview segment once again. I am here with one of our wonderful casters for the weekend, Dreamboat. Now, Dreamboat, this is your first ever land that you've been to. What has the experience been like, and why don't you just share that a little bit so that we can encourage some of our viewers at home to make it to their local lands?
It's really hard to put into words. This has been unbelievable. Like, you know, the games have been great. The people have been incredible. Just absolutely an unforgettable experience. This is probably I'm not regretting this trip at all. This is one of the most enjoyable experiences of my life.
Awesome. And as a caster, how does that change things for you to be able to sit next to your partner as well as like feel the energy of the room? I mean, particularly we have a wonderful spectator crowd over there that's been cheering, not necessarily when Froyo's winning rounds, but certainly adding to the atmosphere around here.
And I mean, let's just give a quick shout out to that crowd. It's like, look, it's absolutely incredible the number of people who are turning out for this. As a caster, I was super nervous coming into this. I was like, you know, never done this before, didn't know what to expect. Sat down and I'm like, wow, I've got Max beside me. We got ready to go, and great experience. You know, it's nice if you want to get a word in. You know, you can actually communicate with each other just by looking, and it's a lot smoother experience than online. And man, I can't wait. I really hope I get to do this again sometime.
Awesome. What were your favorite moments in the games that you casted here at this series?
Dave is gonna hate me for this, but it has to be Starkey setting him on fire on that Viaduct game. That or just the ending of the Snakewater game between Crowns and Full Tilt, where it came down to the wire. Just absolutely incredible games.
Now, this iSeries tournament, we've also had a wonderful feature added thanks to community members. I'm talking about Fantasy TF. And in fact, my man here is at the top of the broadcast crew standings, as well as absolutely killing it in the rankings. So you want to share some thoughts with us, like what were the keys to your fantasy success, and what did you enjoy about having that around for this event?
Well, it's another, for enjoyment, it's another layer of just involvement into this game. But my secret, you know, I'm an Aussie caster, casted for TF Live, and I knew that Jasmine T was going to come out here and play really strong, and I went 3 strong, 3 Jasmine T members, and they carried me all the way up until, well, let's not talk about the curse. I don't want to go there, but no, they were really big contributors there, and you know, it lucked out, and I will say I'm shocked that I'm as high as I am, and I feel bad for the analyst desk, that the caster who apparently is not like. I'm not an analyst. I don't think I'm smart at this game. Is apparently crushing them in fantasy. They apparently don't know what they're talking about.
Wow, strong words there from our caster. You got any other bombs you want to drop before we throw it back their way? So see what they got in store.
I'm not going to throw any bombs. I'm just going to give a massive shout out to the entire Australian scene and everyone at TF Live, Brodogs, Red Hawk, Fossum, Smithsonian, all you guys, Kenneth the admin. You guys are all awesome, and of course Jasmine T. I didn't know what to expect with them. I don't think anyone knew, like, personality-wise, and it's like they're like 6 brothers to me right now. It's been an unforgettable experience.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Dreamboat, for joining me for this interview. We got plenty more interviews coming up for you guys. We're going to interview the winner of the next match. We're going to be interviewing the captains before the grand finals, and also hoping to get some interviews with a few of our eliminated teams to catch up with how they are feeling and how the tournament went for them overall. Without further ado, though, let's get back to our panel of experts. Over to you, Getawhale.
You know, it's my first iSeries too.
I didn't like.
What about me?
You can't throw bombs in here.
Yeah. How many odd shots did we get out of the Dreamboat interview, by the way, Twitch chat? How many out of context lines did we get? Let us know in the Twitch chat what odd shots you managed to get. I mean,
then get timed out by an auto moderator because you can't post links.
So, guys, I mean, if you're good at Fantasy TF2, you could perhaps come to England next year for iSeries LAN.
If you can get as high as Dreamboat, you can come to LAN next year.
Yep. Throwing bombs.
No. No, there are sniffer dogs here, and that's what got Dashner in trouble.
Yeah, well, Dreamboat's being escorted, actually, as we speak from the venue, but he did a good job while I was here. Love Dreamboat. Let's get some hearts in chat. We are in a little bit of having a little bit of a, oh boy, look at all the links just pouring in chat.
And the times out that follow.
Twitch chat is almost more important than the amazing TF2 that we've been watching all weekend long.
Yeah. One thing that I would like to mention, though, is on Reddit, people are posting the sick frags that are happening.
Oh, great.
However, not everything is insane. So please stop titling these
Can we have different adjectives,
posts.
please?
Yeah, I mean, if I see
Get a thesaurus.
X's insane frag, apparently Stark got an insane frag as a spy and a medic.
That sounds
I
insane.
don't think that's ever happened because it's an insta-kill from behind.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's a cheap frag, if
Also,
anything.
Stark's quite mentally stable as well. I don't think.
Exactly. And
It was a collected, very premeditated frag.
yeah, and it's you know,
A lot of
mental health is
preparation went into it.
a serious issue, mental health.
It was a plan. Well, we are getting ready, as we mentioned. Ghoulie Wash, as some in North America call it, is going to be the third and deciding map. Should we ask ourselves the question of, like, is there such thing as favorite or favored maps anymore in this tournament, or is that out the window?
Didn't froyotech pick this map?
Did froyotech pick this map?
Would it not have just been the remaining map?
Oh, see, I was their decider. Yeah,
I would have thought
yeah,
it would
yeah.
have been like
Nobody's
an
picked.
advantage to the...
Nope.
Okay, never mind.
Well, we have Preds. We're getting players on server here. Who are we liking?
I can't tell because no team picked this map. It can go either way.
I feel like both teams are quite good at Gully Wash, but I still think Europe is better at Gully Wash. And I think
Because you're from Europe.
yes, I raised the standard of Europe so much.
You raised the standard of Europe so much?
Better than the other continents.
Wow.
Gully Wash.
Guys, the Div 1 LAN is coming next week, so we'll keep an eye out for that. I don't make predictions, but I'll tell you what I will do. We've got, what, 11 or 12 in server? I know our boys can fill a bit of time. Let's go to Bren and Sideshow. He's shaking his head at me, but I think he's mixed up about the yes and the no. Yes is up and down.
That was a very,
No
very
is left and
confident
right.
and reassuring shake of the head as if to say, I want to say yes, but I can't quite tilt my head on that correct axis.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's young. He'll get there. He'll get more flexible with age. Brennan and Sideshow, they're ready. Here they are.
We are. Bren, can you move your head on every axis?
What's he doing?
Bren, I'm worried about your neck at this point. Does it work? Oh, he's crippled.
Dog.
He can't look up. He's a dog. Yes. Right. So we are going to be going into the decider map between these two teams. It's the lower bracket final. Again, it's gone the full distance. Thankfully, the previous one didn't go to a golden cap, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there was still only one round that separated the team on the previous map of Badlands, and now we're into Gully Wash. It's all come down to this for these two teams. Full Tilt, froyotech. The third place prize, if you want to say it like that, is awaiting the loser of this map, whereas the winner is going on to face Crowns in the grand final of i58 to contest. But how do you think these two teams are going to match up on Gully Wash?
I'm anticipating Ali to turn up big time. These mid-fights, again, what Full Tilt have been showing, they are pretty much dominant in almost every map against Froyo. They're just really destroying them, and Getawhale is really distracting me by saying all sorts of adjectives about behind my back.
Yeah, I think for Gully Wash, I'm really favouring Full Tilt for this one. froyotech got dismantled by Crowns. So far, they've been dismantled on every mid-fight by Full Tilt as well. I will say, actually, though, that this is probably Paddy's best mid on Gully.
Right.
Paddy is seems to be a lot better on this mid than his previous ones. They have to watch out for them. I think they play quite a few of their players underneath, and they'll try and keep control of Paddy and make sure that he doesn't have as big an impact. Having said that, you know, Full Tilt obliterated Jasmine on this map. Crowns obliterated froyotech earlier on. You can't really equate the two and make it fit, but from what we've been given, it seems like Full Tilt are looking strong on this map. Having said that, almost every time we've said that, it's gone the other way. So, you know, froyotech potentially. No, I do think that the Full Tilt are
The stronger one.
the stronger one, and having gone through Badlands, having done the hard work, they can now be slightly more in their comfort zone, and I'm going to favour them for this final map.
That's probably a fair assumption to make, given all the information we've got. We don't have too much stats on these two teams because this is the first time they've actually fought each other.
We can take a look at the crowd, though. I think as
the crowd.
eXtine is passing around the
what?
thunder sticks and drinks and all sorts. Who knows? Monster energy for everybody. I think what we should do here is see what the level of yow we can get to for eXtine. So if we we'll give a yow for Gully Wash then. Are you ready?
You want me to yow?
I want you to yow.
Are you sure?
We'll go 3, 2, 1,
sure
and then
this
we'll get a yow from you in the crowd.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Yow! There we go. That's the way that you need to say.
eXtine era.
We need to set this one going because this is the last map of the lower bracket final. It's froyotech against Full Tilt, and everything is on the line here for these two teams, Bren. This is our first mid-fight.
Absolutely, everything on the line right now. We're going to see it. Celentes moving all the way forward. He's getting in some decent damage onto Paddy, dropping it in very, very low. And in fact, Celentes, he's on the drop down. He's got behind them. Immediately picks up the 2K, an explosive start.
They still haven't dealt with him either. He's still alive there. He's going to get further damage onto everybody. Banny, the last player left alive, pinned in the corner by 4 people. And that was unbelievable plays by Full Tilt, abusing the fact that Froyo didn't have anybody watching that drop-down area, comes up behind, and if you're not seen and the enemy team hasn't pushed across, that you're going to deal ridiculous damage. Takes down Muma and 4-4 immediately, looking strong straight out of the gates here, the European side.
They're going to be looking to move in off this now. They have a hefty Uber advantage to work off. We do see the off-classes coming out. Froyo, Free State on that heavy, on the Pyro, I should say. He's trying to deny them. In fact, Froyo, what they're doing, they're just feeding into them now.
Ala was so weak. Ala was on single digits of health, and Tyler and Free State really wanted that kill to slow them down. But
they might not even need Uber. Still, goodness gracious me, man.
What is going on with this Full Tilt side? They are destroying at the moment. Ala picks up 4-4 as he comes out of the gates, and that is the start that they wanted there. Unreal stuff for them.
Okay. Let's take a bit of a step back. I think Froy need a little bit of a breather. We might see Banny breaking some more peripherals just so they can get a technical timeout, but I don't know. It's off the back of that.
I don't think he broke. I don't think he told the luggage people to smash up all of his peripherals, Bren. I don't think he had any control over that.
Maybe it was the long com, just trying to get people to underestimate his team. You know, feel sorry for him. But anyway, we're going to be going into mid-fight number 2 on the final map of the lower bracket finals between froyotech and Full Tilt. The winner of this will move on to the grand finals. The loser goes out into 3rd place, and already we see TLR taking that spy position on the mid. Celentes moving forward, getting on some rockets, finally goes down, but everyone is weak on the side of Froyo once again. He's putting in crucial damage. Ali with the sticky spam. I knew he was going to turn up on these mid fights. He does pick up Muma, but Froyo look like they want to strike back. They have 5 members of the team now against Full Tilt's 4, and that's exactly what they're going to do now. Thalash is going to be falling as well. Full Tilt escape with 3 of their members of their team, so they are going to have the Uber to defend last with, but Froyo showing signs of life at least.
And there's the 3rd mid that froyotech have won in the whole of the best of 3. So now they've completed their 1 per map rate. So we'll see the rest of them all go the way of Full Tilt.
Well, it is 100% Uber on both these teams' side. Thalash is on that engineer off class. And we see Froyo starting to maneuver their way through the Riverside area. Waiting, they might go for a sack attempt. They might try and
they're getting Free State and Paddy in position here. Free State going underneath. I don't know whether anyone spotted him as well. Surely
Paddy
Mike has. As they come down,
Free State on the point. They need to try and deal with him right now. They got a lot of cap time out of it, but Ali is quick with the cleanup along with Celentes, and Froyo could not find an opening.
Oh, well, that looked really dangerous because everybody from Full Tilt dropped down onto the point. I think if Muma had committed slightly more to doing damage, they might have even found another kill there onto players who were all around the point. You can spam that from Riverside really easily, and there was nobody keeping the rest of froyotech out. So that certainly looked dangerous from my point of view, but Froyo decided not to commit to it, and instead going for the 2-person sack, and Paddy coming back on the stubby class.
Stubby. It's an unusual way of saying stabby, but I'll go with it. I'll roll with it. And he has
instantly been found.
See you later. Thalash says, not today, Paddy. Go back to Ireland, even though he's not actually Irish, but we'll roll with it. We have fun here, you know.
Well, froyotech, I mean, Ala is creeping around here, but there's a sticky trap just around the corner. So if he pokes out too far, they're going to be able to find picks. And I think for Full Tilt, it becomes a task of patience. They have to wait until froyotech commit at least a little bit. Maybe wait until a double sack comes in before they can push out. And then they have to storm through Riverside. The only way that they're going to be able to push out, I think, against the way froyotech holds second, is if they take a lot of room early on in Riverside.
This sentry gun position is a bit, it's
unorthodox.
You don't see it often, if at all. I can't really recollect it, but
I think Jasmine used it earlier on in the tournament, actually, but Paddy spotted it out straight away, just puts a rocket there onto it, and Thalash is going to move it. Where's he going to choose? Maybe at the bottom of these stairs?
Yeah.
It looks like it at the moment. That's a decent sentry spot as well, but if they know where it is, they're going to be able to take it down there. Look like Paddy and Tyler wanted to come in. Woo!
Okay.
Sentry Gun wins that 1v1 against Paddy, who jumped into it. He did jump in just as it was building, I think. They may have heard the voice cue from Thalash as he put it down and wanted to initiate, but Ali had put a lot of spam onto them as well. So froyotech still just, you know, choosing their, picking the best option for the way to push this point. Making sure that they rotate around, prod a few different angles, make sure they know where the sentry is at all times. It is going to get taken down there. This may cue another sack from Paddy.
And we do see Ast on the sniper roll. Might be looking for that one kill he needs. He's peeking around that Riverside Free State as well. Going in from below. This looks like the cue now. Paddy's going to leap into the fray. He gets airshot by Ali, in fact. And another one. Oh, my goodness. What denial. Completely destroyed. I know it's not the hardest thing in the world to hit a shot in that small little corridor area, but
he was completely stuffed.
Belated.
Yeah, but now they're trying to push out, and full tilt, they haven't taken enough room. They also don't have anybody in Riverside, only just now getting there, and the spawners are going to come in. So, I mean, unless their execution pushing out is far better than that attempt, they're never going to get anywhere off last.
All right, well, one pick onto Free State is going to force Froyo to be a bit more cautious in their going abouts. Thalash now peeking in the Riverside, slowly but surely. Is he going to be able to get a pick? This is very aggressive. Baddy might be the first kill. No, he's going to back off. Froyo, in fact, they're going to be jumping straight onto them. Mike, however, with a follow-up.
Oh, and still is in. Onto 4 forces out the Uber charge as well, and Banny and Paddy have all fallen. So that's 2 down and an Uber charge advantage here for Kos and the rest of his team. Mooma's sticking up that lower door, but I think they just spotted it there. Surely they'll know the stickies, and this time they push out through Riverside. Thalash feeds himself into the sticky trap of Mooma, but Kos has managed to hold on to his supercharge, and they're rotating behind them. froyotech look like they want to go behind, and Tyler's already on last.
Oh my goodness, at the same time, this is all kicking off. There's a backup attempt. Ali, he needs to block this. How does this happen? Time and time again. These rounds getting stolen away by these players, these stray players, and it's not, I mean, Gullywash, there's a few ways to get into that last point, but these mistakes that are being made, it seems to be the only way that Froyo are doing a bloody good job of exploiting it, don't get me wrong, but should they really be getting away with this?
No, they absolutely shouldn't. Full tilt, as soon as they got out there, should have started the cap time. It should have been way earlier for the rest of those guys. They managed to hold on to the Uber, but they had nobody in big door, and people just easily got behind. So let's take a look. It's going to be 1-1. When Full Tilt get pushed back to their last, it seems to be a slow but inevitable loss. We'll see if they can put themselves in a great position with another mid-fight.
Well, they're moving across now. It's going to be TLR who kills Ali in the end. That means no demo man, no area denial available for them. Thalash is going to be able to reach around in that drop-down area. In fact, no, he's been spotted straight away. They know the jig is up. He's going to go on a wild goose chase now and try and lead as many members of Froyo away. But another mid-fight won to Froyo. This is a turn of events. This is something that we're not quite used to seeing.
Yeah, as you say, Thalash there going for the reach around, but froyotech shook him off.
Right. And this is going to be the cap. By Froyo, moving across the second. Full tilt. Holding strong on the last for now, but how much longer? As you mentioned, it seems like whenever they get pushed back to this last, it's just they eventually succumb to just a slow but steady crashing of the wave.
Yeah, the slow release of death.
Slow release of death. But right now, both teams just happy to spam each other out, seeing if they can potentially get a pick off that. And there we go, Paddy leaping all the way in, and he's actually managed to get out with his life. I spoke too soon. And yeah, it's going to be
him and Paddy both down, and now Full Tilt. They look like they want to go forwards. They know that they have to commit in these situations where they get those 2 picks. The sticky trap doesn't actually catch anybody there. Blind depth from Mooma isn't going to be able to catch people. They have players pushing out up top here as well, but still, he didn't want to take that one. But Kos pops off the Uber anyway. It's going to be traded. They're going to try and get back in the lobby here, but Still's been caught. Oh, he actually gets out up top there. Just going to be able to do that one, but everybody from froyotech streaming into last, and they have to try and stop the floodgates.
Okay. Okay. I thought Sil could have gone for a little bit of a play there. He did get right behind him in the Riverside area, but now Froyo, they're moving in. They've got this, they don't have the Uber, they're just going to try and dry push it, but they're dry pushing into Thalash on heavy, which is never really advisable unless you can focus him down. He's being healed up all day long. The point now going to be forced down. Ash just makes clean work of Mooma. And the cleanup crew has arrived. The respawners are here. Full tilt, hold on.
And now they've been gifted an opportunity to push out from last. That was what they were looking for the whole time. If you're a team that just locks down that defense, the best thing that you're looking for there is for froyotech to come in, fail a push, almost wipe, and then that gives you the free release onto second. If your pushes out from last aren't strong, that's basically your only hope there. And in comes the Uber.
Oh, wow.
404 doesn't quite have it. He's only on 75%, Bren.
Yeah, but they're moving in with it right now, trying to see if they can pick up any more players. Muma does get arrowed, but he's brought down in the end by Ali's sticky as it just about reaches him, and we see them trying to contest them in the choke point area. Paddy also tangling with Salentes, having a 1v1 at the big door area, but now the Uber was popped out. 404 leading it on with Banny, trying to see if they can get anyone at all to cap.
Look at this one, This is beautiful stuff.
They're trying the hardest now, but they've been sandwiched in between. Cost is so weak, and he is going to be falling to TLR here, but I really don't know what's going on here. There's really a fight kicking off on two fronts, and Full Tilt look like they've come out on top.
Yeah, that was really well played by Full Tilt, actually. They knew that the Uber was going to come in, keeping track of 404's Uber charge perfectly, and as soon as Banny let it in, everybody fleed. He didn't get a single point of damage with the whole of the Uber, and they weren't able to lock off the choke because they led with a scout rather than the demo or a pocket, and so Full Tilt had the easy re-entry. Although it was a scrappy fight, they came out on top.
Well, Banny does bring down Mike, but Ast gets the quick counter kill, securing that one for them. And now TLI is moving in, leaping up. Paddy and himself just perched up on the roof. The bird of prey. And now we see Full Tilt. They're trying to work their way in. Salentes.
Costa's taking a ridiculous amount of damage, and Muma's going to bomb in, make sure that he secures that fight. Paddy, though, he's only on 4 health, surely going to go down. Just gets chip shot there by Thalash. And there's only 2 players on last. It's Banny with heals. Are they going to try and commit to it? It looks like Thalash and As wanted to go for it. They've got backup from Ali and Mike as well. But the spawners are going to come in. This is going to be a bad opportunity if they go for it.
Oh, Banny secures the first kill, so they have fended them off for now. And now everyone is weak on the side of Full Tilt. They could be caught out of position. Ali, he's so weak, 11 health. And now all they got to do is run him down. And Banny is the one to secure that kill in the end. Now they're going to meet head on in this big door area. The heals are available. Muma taking a 1v1 against Salentes. Salentes has really wrapped himself around. Now he's going to get the back cap on. Paddy is going to try and jump him on, and I think he has kept him off for now, but he's pulled everyone back. And he ends up killing Paddy.
Yeah, still trades there for Paddy, and with only 2 players left on last, it looks like they're going to be storming through. Free State is miles away as well. The spawners are Banny and 404 are coming in. Ast is flanking from underneath here. Both of the scouts need to be dealt with. Muma's been taken down. Ast is in onto the point there, taking the 1v1 against Free State. Is he going to be able to take it? He is, but Banny's there with the heals. They should be able to hold on and stop hemorrhaging, but Full Tilt still look like they want to commit.
They committed a bit too long for my liking anyway. As soon as the Froyo got their spawners, in fact, I think that was the time to start to call it quits. But now Froyo moving in around the back lines. Full Tilt caught in this big door area. Koss is very, very weak. In fact, he's going to be popping off his Uber. Wants to initiate into them, try and catch them off guard if he potentially can through the lobby area. But Froyo are nowhere to be found, and now the Uber has faded. And they've got from absolutely nothing from that. Froyo really doing a pretty good job of negating that the effectiveness of that Uber, pretty much with clever positioning.
Thalash is so weak there, taking a fight against TLR in the lobby, and TLR's rockets slightly too strong, but not quite good enough to be able to finish off the kill. Made sure that he backed off though and conserved his life. And both of the soldiers, one of the soldiers for each team was down there, but froyotech's taking the opportunity to push out. They know that they have an Uber's advantage.
Oh, wow.
Koss destroyed instantly. TLR leading the brunt of this one, and Salentes hitting a shot onto him. Tyler's juggled it up in the air. He gets the kill, and froyotech now at risk of being collapsed on despite the fact they have player advantage and heals.
Yeah, Thalash and As trying to basically put in as much work as possible. It is Muma with one quick pipe, does bring down As, but now Mike and Thalash are moving in on the second area. Seeing if they can get any kills, but a sticky trap by Muma. Oh, just a bit too late there, detting, so he didn't bring down Mike, unfortunately for them. But Full Tilt, once again, I mean, this is so back and forth, a game of tug and war between these 2 points.
Froyotech look much stronger than Full Tilt in the way that they're pushing out from last, but they're still managing to hold on. Gully is so difficult to push out from that Froyo aren't throwing it away with their failed pushes out from last. They're still incredibly close, but at some point you've got to think that Froyo are going to be able to finally break out. There's only so many times that you can stop them and repel them backwards and remain in control, unless Full Tilt are able to convert this push into last. Something I'd like to see them do, which they often do on Gully Wash, is to just take the trade in with Salentes, for example, hold outside and then arrow build up a 60% like 40% advantage and then be able to push back in with that. But for the moment, both teams have full Uber charge.
Well, froyotech on the last hold once again. FULTILT just looking for that one opening, that one pick that could potentially change the game for them. And it's still a 1-all scoreline. Remember, this is map number 3. The winner of this goes to the grand finals. The loser is out. Everything to be played for on the line, going down right down to the wire. There is still 15 minutes remaining, so there's plenty of time for these teams to come back from it if they so wish. But it's really a question of how FULTILT want to try and take in this push, or how Froyo want to try and open it up so they can potentially push out.
There's certainly some kind of plan there from FULTILT. They all had a little team huddle where they were discussing positioning, and then Mike's gone down into main while Sil is pressuring on Riverside, so there's certainly some kind of plan here, probably involving a double soldier bomb in order to force out 404. I think they're going for something like that.
Yep.
At the moment, though, it's Silentis and Thalash hanging around on this Riverside area. FULTILT, they're just trying to set themselves up for a play, but the spam is coming in. Sil tries to go there for a bounce, unable to get it though. The speed shot not going to come in, and both of the soldiers have been taken out for FULTILT. This is going to be a bit of a tricky one to hold on to, actually.
It is. Yeah, it is indeed. They've lost 2 pretty crucial players, their soldiers, Silentis and Mike. They put in a lot of impact, actually, for the team of FULTILT. Not taking anything away from the rest of the players. They are all very, very capable guys. And Ali now, he's moving in. The Uber has been popped off. Koss now going to be popping his off, going to be getting a slightly better one at that. And they're going to be trying to take this fight into this lobby area. In fact, it's going to be Ast who's overextended a little bit too much there. He ends up falling to Paddy, and now Froyo look to be on the counter-attack as they move round, wheeling their way around. Silentis does find 1 kill, but Moon with the follow-up. Sticky does bring him down with no issues really there. Now,
Mike gets an air shot onto 2 people there, following up with Paddy cratering. Muma, Banny stay alive, but this is going to be the re-engage from FULTILT as they come streaming around the choke point. Muma is so weak, but there's nobody to finish him off.
Yeah, they're trying their hardest to try and spam him out from a range. A nice arrow from 404 is going to be able to bring Muma up to full health once again. But now FULTILT looking to take their move across the point. I don't think they realised TLI is on there. He was waiting for the arrow. Now he makes his move onto Koss. Gets up 1 rocket. No, he does not. He misses it, unfortunately for them. But Froyo now have popped off their Uber, chasing down the stragglers. Ali and Mike going to be falling. And now FULTILT with only 3 players remaining, trying to defend on this mid. It's going to be hard for them as Froyo look to move on, Sideshow.
Yeah, they're holding forward, but this is really bad by FULTILT here. If you want to hold forward with your Uber charge, then you have to do it in the choke point, and they're going to get collapsed on here because they don't have the players. Muma bombs in. What a ridiculous jump from him. Sticky's off the medic, trades his life there for Koss, but the respawners that have come in from FULTILT are just able to edge out the team fight, which really got quite scrappy at the end there, and it's only TLR and 404 that stay alive at the end of it, and Mike is a little bit on the hunt. I wouldn't be surprised to see him bomb in and try and go for 404 here.
He wants to. He's hunting them around. He is peeking. Silentis also moving his way into the Riverside. He's getting off 1 rocket, 2 rocket, 3 rockets! Spamming him out. That is a pick onto 404 if I've ever seen one. And wow, okay, FULTILT now. They've got a hefty advantage to work off from that now, as Koss he's building it up. It's going to be roughly around 40% if they build it up quite quickly. Ast on Spy as well.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on here.
There.
I have literally no idea what is going through Ast's head. He's going for like these 1 or 2 taps. I'm kind of at a loss because he's now going to be Spy in their Uber advantage push. And if he had died just now, he would have respawned in time on Scout to be able to be in the push. So I literally have no idea what's going on here.
Ast trying to go for those 1 taps. Maybe taking a bit of inspiration from Scream there, but
the 1-deegs.
The 1-deegs from the Ambassador. But this is going to be the Uber coming in. Free State denies it pretty beautifully with a few air blasts, but this collapse by FULTILT, putting in a lot of work. Sentry Gun also going to be falling now. Ali trying to sticky up this point, but there's so many members of Froyo still alive. Mike trying to spam him from above, but Banny is hot on his heels, and indeed he is going to get that kill.
Koss kills Muma.
What?
Muma had him completely locked off. Koss was stuck in the underneath area, and Muma had him sticky. There was Banny there to help as well, but Koss hits him with an Uber Saw. Muma kills himself. So that was a bit of a beef situation there. They really should have picked up Koss, who still has a 50% Uber advantage because they were able to kill 404 in that push. And now they have Ast on Scout, and I hear he's quite a good Scout.
Well,
certainly better than his Spy.
Better than his 1D Spy claims. But right now, Froyo still holding on to last. Uber slight super advantage actually for Full Tilt as they're moving across. They're trying to make this play happen, but the Uber 404, he's almost got it actually, 5% more. So this push might just get negated just by that. In fact, there we go. They popped it off, seeing if they can kill any more of these players. Ali might be in a spot of bother indeed. He is. Paddy leaps in. Picks up one, picks up another. Mike does manage to find Muma, and Thalash is underneath, so he could pull a few of them back. But this push is...
How are they managing to turn this? Silentis and Mike finding kills, and Thalash in from behind, seeing if he can get onto TLR or Free Stay there, but it's not going to happen for him. And there's only 2 of them left alive. I'm not sure why they recommitted to that fight.
Froyo now looking for the opportunity to retake the second point. Ali has respawned. He's there with them. They could choose to contest this if they wanted to. The cap hasn't gone through just yet. Some nice sticky damage by Ali. Okay.
That's a pipe. Okay. 404 catches that one. What a great pipe from Ali, and he's going to set his team up perfectly to get this one. Silentis with some great rockets. Directs to take down Banny. Paddy's got in lobby as well, and they should be able to storm this one forward. Koss only a few % away from his Uber as well. If they take down Muma, they've surely got the round.
He's going to start to bait out the stickies. The spawners coming in for Froyo. Here comes the Uber charge, and there we are. That was one of those back and forth last pushes. It was going forwards, backwards, sideways, upwards, all sorts of directions. But eventually it's going to be 2-1 to Full Tilt with only about 9 minutes remaining roughly on the clock.
And the fact that they're in the lead after such a long and extended back and forth round is going to boost Full Tilt to no end. Thalash, whoa, he was running sniper to mid there for a moment and just decided not to in the final seconds. I think that'd be a bad call actually. Their mids have been so good anyway. Why would you change things up? They did lose the previous one, but I think that was more of a blip.
Okay.
But Ali gets taken down immediately, as happened in the previous mid, and this does not bode well for Full Tilt. froyotech rallying themselves, starting to get back into it. Paddy putting in a lot of work, and now they've picked off people. Full Tilt's positioning so spread out.
Yeah, right now they're a bit spread out a little bit. I think the core group of gamers on Full Tilt, Koss is just escaping with his posse, really, isn't he? Just trying to keep the supercharge for last. But the mid
squad goals have taken out froyotech.
Yeah. But it looks like they might want to contest this from this upper Riverside area. They're getting in position for it. They've definitely got the players for it. They're going to be moving across with the Uber 4-4, still holding on to his. Pops it roughly around the same time. Sil finds Muma right at the back there. Not really protecting the Demo Man in the middle of these fights. And Muma getting caught off guard. But now Full Tilt looking to see if they can strike back with a few more kills of their own.
Oh, they should be able to get this one. Huge amount of damage onto everybody. They've just cornered them as well. Like, oh, that's unbelievable stuff from Full Tilt. They really played that one to perfection. That's the Uber from Silentis was really good as well. We really haven't seen clinically good Ubers from Silentis yet, but that one, he certainly outplayed his opponents and ended with a full team wipe. 2-1 up still, Full Tilt, and now they're back in control of mid. They can start to slow the game down if they want, but why would you in this situation? They've had a lot of success being able to take these team fights on Gully Wash so far, and they've been in control of the map for the majority of it.
Full Tilt moving through this choke now, trying to take the positioning away from Froyo. Silentis, he leaps in, trying to basically force a few of them off that ledge to get the high ground positioning away from them and try and work it out. Muma does find Ast. That's a scout pick, and that's a pretty big one. Paddy also falling to Silentis, so it is a 5v5 as it stands. However, I think the scout pick is slightly more favorable for Froyo, but right now they're just giving up a load of room. Full Tilt happy to take it from them. Still 7.5 minutes remaining, and Full Tilt have this 1-0 score lead as they're moving in with the Uber. Ali leading it in. 4-4 pops his off. Eventually, Ali just about jumps out of the fray, so he is going to potentially survive, or is he? He's just getting jumped down. Free Stay and Muma cleaning up, destroying them as they try to exit from out of there.
But Mike and Sil putting down a ton of damage. Panny's in, actually. He's trying to see what he can do. Mike's juggled him up in the air. However, he's up and around, and he's bought so much time for the scouts to come in. Banny slamming people there as all eyes were on Paddy. Let's throw something in the air for Full Tilt, and everyone will look up to the skies looking for the air shot. And Banny just ran in out of vision, slamming shots into them with his scattergun.
Now Thalash is on sniper, seeing if he can get a quick and easy pick while they are capping up the midpoint. Froyo still with this one-round disadvantage, it has to be said. They need to get a move on here with only 6.5 minutes remaining roughly. The winner of this goes into the grand finals. We see Muma, he leaps in, trying to get off that early denial. That shutter door, He's putting in work.
Oh, Thalash is getting so many, a couple of opportunities there onto 404. Wasn't quite able to do it. He hasn't hit many headshots so far. He's really not feeling it at the moment. Like to see him switch off when they get back to last. Gully Wash last, not great for the sniper, and in comes the Uber.
Moving in, Salenta's trying his hardest, trying to lay it for as long as possible. He's moving around, Ast on the heavy, might be enough to try and keep them off, as well as the pyro off glass by Thalash has really just done a number on them, pushing them all the way back, but 2 picks going away, make it free. Full Tilt might be crumbling a little bit now, as they are only 3 remaining, but they are big guys to try and bring down a heavy and a demo man. They are quite turtled up. Ali, one of the last survivors for his team. Can he do it? He's got 1 sticky trap. He picks them off. Froyo, they do claim it. They get 1 more round under them. You can hear the screams from them in the back. Getting a bit emotional. And it is equalized with only 5 minutes.
An unbelievably close one there. I think the pyro from Thalash just wasn't in position in time. He went back and switched from sniper. Sorry, really should have taken the scout there rather than the pyro, because he was nowhere near by the time the push came in. And he was taken out by clever positioning from the froyotech players, as well as some good coordinated spam. So as you say, down into the last 6 minutes of one of these 2 teams' lives. It's Full Tilt v froyotech. We're in the lower bracket finals. One of these 2 teams will be going home. The other one goes on to face crowns in the grand final.
Spam once again being Shane Salenta as he leaps forward, seeing if he can secure at least a kill. Ali with the follow-up damage does bring down TLR, but Free State on the back lines has found Mike. At the same time, it matters not. Goodness gracious me.
Unbelievable stuff for that guy. This is his first LAN event. He's never been seen at a level like this before. The LAN rockets really coming in. He's getting the full experience, and he's certainly delivering. You know, with players like that, you always worry, are we going to see the same as their online performance, and the nerves going to get to them? He's quite a quiet guy, you know. We were thinking potentially he might choke in an environment like this, but he's delivering. He's been turning up something rotten.
Right now, it's an Uber advantage to the side of Full Tilt. Froyo holding on to that last point, holding on for dear life at this point. And if Full Tilt played as correctly as the Uber comes in, we might see it going their way. Free State on Pyro, trying to basically deny them. They're trying to focus them down. They're not getting any damage on them whatsoever. And this leaves an opportunity for Froyo to try and clean up. As does manage to find Free State in the midst of it. Mike also with the follow-up kills. A lot of rockets being spammed. Banny falling very, very weak. In fact, As claims that kill, and this looks like it's slowly going the way of Full Tilt. Muma, last man standing, not going to be enough. You can hear the roars of the crowd as Full Tilt. Froyo claim 1 round and they strike right back.
They look focused as well. They look so focused and determined to make this one happen. They're not getting carried away by it. The crowd behind them certainly are. Those players who are watching directly behind rather than watching in the larger crowd that we have in front of the production area, but they want to get their news straight from the source.
Absolutely. Wow. A very important mid-fight for Froyo now. They need to try and at least take 1 more round to potentially take this to a golden cap, or even try and win this. This is an incredibly important map for both these teams, as it is map number 3. Froyo this time taking control of their own side so far. Salenta as he leaps forward, trying to get in that damage, this time getting denied a little bit here. Ali trying to spam that from across the map. Banny has found a kill onto Mike, and as well as that, 3 players from Make It 4 on Full Tilt. Thalash trying to take this 1v2. Is going to be dying.
Everyone was so weak there at the end from froyotech. They just needed 1 scout with heals to be able to follow up. Muma's actually chasing all the way to last. He spotted him, but he's missing all the pipes. Koss is giving him the wiggle, and he could not be, wasn't able to get that. Really great dodging there by Koss, but he still has an enormous Uber disadvantage. This is the situation where you want to be arrow building perhaps, but they're not going to have the time. froyotech already in. The defensive classes are not set up in any kind of position other than Ali, but they found Banny and TLR already, and the point has not even been anywhere near capped. So that was a huge overextension, I think, from froyotech.
Muma's hiding. They don't even realise this as the cap comes in. He's sticking it up. This could be crucial. He's just detted a little bit too soon, and he's going to be falling. That was a very, very capable situation. There's a lot of weight on that young man's shoulders, but he's more than capable of pulling off a play like that. And now Full Tilt off the back of that 1 pick are going to start to try and retake the second. The cap is happening fairly quickly. Thalash taking the upper position on it. This is going to be going the way of Full Tilt, as Froyo having to back off onto the mid.
Koss has his Uber charge up at the moment. They've got a 40% Uber advantage, but it's slowly trickling away, and Full Tilt don't look like they want to push with it either. I think they're overestimating the percentage that 404 has here, but as he ticks up now, it's obviously a window that has closed. Full Tilt are going to be back defending on their second with 2 minutes left. They are 2 minutes away from knocking froyotech out of i58 and making this an all-European grand final.
And now, really, the pressure. You gotta feel for Froyo. It's got to be getting to them. Paddy, he's worked his way in. Maybe they're trying to make a play happen. He's gone back in. Now Froyo, they're taking a lot of spam from this angle, really trying to wrap them around if they potentially can. Full tilt, really locking down all exits. The time is going down right now, but we've seen full tilt in these scenarios right now. When the going gets tough, Froyo, they do turn up and they do capitalize off those very small mistakes that just snowball.
They're all in behind as well.
rounds.
Mike's just spotted them. He's giving the intel to the rest of his team. The TLR, 404 and Free State are all in behind. Paddy's the only one holding off that choke area. He could get overwhelmed and they could go for a back cap. If Thalash went for a back cap in this situation, it would be absolutely perfect for them. But instead, the two teams have taken an uber fight. Mike has run out of ammunition as well. That is the worst possible time for that to happen. He's just being able to get onto it. What is going on here? And the rest of his team are doing an excellent job, actually.
I can't believe
Mike,
this.
he just gets completely picked out, though, and that's a huge amount of damage that was missing from the entirety of that fight. Astenkor's going to be able to stay alive here, but having caught them on the back foot, froyotech going to be able to do what they did in the golden kappa of Snakewater and rush them all the way to last. It looks like they're just holding up on the momentum for now, but with 50 seconds left, it's down to the wire once again here, Bren.
Yeah, 48 seconds. It needs to be iterated because it is so important. Froyo on the back foot, making their move around the Riverside area. They've got the time against them right now, and the defensive off class is Thalash hiding in that secret area.
Mike is hiding as well.
Mike is hiding as well. I think they anticipate some little untoward plays happening here. They haven't spotted
27
any of them.
seconds, Bren.
It's all coming down to the wire. The Uber now coming in by Froyo, coming out as well by Full Tilt as they're trying to keep them off Paddy. He's meeting them head on down below. Ali's going to be the first one to go. That's going to be a lack of stickies now. He's trying to make the magic happen. Thalash, he's found one kill. Can they get the follow-up? Froyo are trying their hardest. They're so weak. Everyone's weak. Mike with the rockets. Is this going to be Froyo? God, I think
it's going to be Full Tilt. Take it. 3-2. Wow. Look at that one. They secure their spot in the grand final.
My goodness.
What a ridiculous game, Bren. The crowd are chanting. The guys behind Full Tilt are just ecstatic. froyotech, North America, have been knocked out of this competition. The reigning champion Banny for the last 2 years goes out in third. They weren't able to repeat the same performance that his team was able to do at I-55. Full Tilt have knocked them out in three nail-biter maps, coming down to the very last moment on every single one of the maps. You really... I was going to say you can't separate these two teams, but we can, and they have been separated. And froyotech find themselves in third, only just above Jasmine T in fourth, and it's an all-European grand final. And this is a repeat of I-49 in terms of where the teams are stacking up. Yeah. The Australians in fourth, HRG at that point were in third. After Broder came out with a ridiculous performance again from the lower bracket. This is crazy stuff that we're seeing. Just what an unreal game.
Honestly, that was ridiculous. My hand is just, I cannot.
He cannot. Bren literally cannot.
I can't find the words.
I'm slightly worried about your body though, Bren. I don't think it performs. It doesn't function at the same level as other people's bodies. But let's take a look. He literally cannot. We literally cannot. But some people literally can. And I know 3 guys who literally can.
You said it, Sideshow. First time since I-49, we're going to have a world champion not named froyotech. And as you mentioned as well, I-49 was an all-Euro final, and that's what we're going to be looking at again here at I-58. Pretty unbelievable. We were all into it. Full Tilt, I said to you, CommanderX, I said Full Tilt are playing better than they've played in, and you said ever. Yeah, you believe in that?
Yeah, honestly, so many of the players are stepping up. Even though it was super close, I feel like they really were outperforming them on so many levels. Like, everyone on Full Tilt. And that's what you need to win the World Championship. Every single player on your team. And we talked about it on the flip side on froyotech. They've got a couple of people who are playing really well, but there's a few people who are lacking who aren't. They're not playing awful, but they're really not out. They're not stepping it up, and that's what hurt them the most.
Yeah. Would you agree, WARHURYEAH, that we're seeing the best Full Tilt that we've seen? Not only here at Insomnialand, but going back to this previous season of ETF2L. How do you like the boys?
Yeah, they're they're playing very, very well. And at the moment, I can't even, so...
Well, there's some of that going around, I heard.
There's a lot of...
Well, why don't we pull up the logs if you can't even? I mean, logs are just computer-based, and so they can always. There they are. Well, look at every class in TF2 played by Thalash in this one. We see Silentes. We were talking about how Silentes was a little silent, perhaps, yesterday. Pardon the pun, but, you know, we didn't hear a lot from him yesterday, and certainly not in the group stages either, but he stepped up in a massive way today.
Big Silentes.
Yeah, I mean, 31 frags, tons of damage, and I mean, he had so many good moments as well. He had a lot of nice shots and just really big plays. You know, there was some very famous banter on Twitch chat back recently between two people, Banny and Thalash.
Oh, get ready for the punch.
Look at this. Here it is. We didn't see the punch. We missed that.
Oh.
There he is. But Banny once famously asked, who is Thalashy? And we have the answer now as we see the teams shaking hands. It is LAN, it's cool, everyone's friends here, but you've got to believe that froyotech pretty disappointed that they're not able to make even the finals this time around.
I think there's quite a few different factors. I mean, you had sort of hung around behind them. I had was standing behind them during the dying moments, and it was incredibly tense.
Yep.
You could cut it with a knife.
Yep.
But I couldn't because I get escorted out.
Can't have knives, right?
It would.
Not allowed to have them in here.
They were getting really, really frustrated. Paddy was going mental. He did a lot of the whole head explosion things.
Yeah.
So it's either his mind was blown by the plays he was witnessing, or his mind was blown by Moon's rollouts.
Maybe, yeah. They blew something. I did get the sense that there was, I did get the sense that there was a mental advantage for Full Tilt, or perhaps more accurately, a mental disadvantage for Froyo. And the sense that I got was that they were just having a hard time pulling it together. I got the sense that they needed sort of a break, a pep talk, something like that to just sort of collect themselves. And I just got the sense that they weren't able to do that. I hate to just default to the word tilting, but I felt like they weren't able to slow down and just sort of play their game.
I mean, funny enough, actually, as well, we can see the mid-fight won, and Froyo actually won more mids.
Yeah.
So they've got something to take away from that.
Well, I don't know if that means a whole lot.
Third place check, they can at least say, you know, we won the mid-fights.
That'll comfort them on their long flight.
I'm sure they'll say, I'm sure they'll be telling the flight attendants, you know, we won our mids. That's what they'll say.
Yep, that's the most important part. You can't, if you don't win mid, you can't do anything. You know? That's
true. That is a part of 5CP, as we all know. We, I mean, we're I don't know. I can't call it a surprise because Full Tilt were sort of, you felt like they had it in their clutches the whole time, all throughout. More so the last map there, but I don't think we're surprised.
Arguably on Snakewater as well, they were the better team. It's just that they never really found the teamwork to actually address the situations that were presented to them. And I felt that they, on this map, they really sort of did very, very well on actually pushing out. It's something that they've been very reluctant to do. We saw it against Jasmine T yesterday, where they would just not do it. They've been infamous to just allow Crowns to just bend them over and spank them over and over again on Gully Wash Last. It happened last season for absolutely ages. And for them to actually sort of just go for it and just actually play to their strengths is really, really good.
Pride of Wales, is he Mikey A? Is he the best soldier of this LAN? Thoughts?
The best soldier every LAN.
Having said that, I mean, Sil on that game was just phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess...
Do you give him the MVP over Mike in that map at the very least?
Yeah, on this matchup, I would say over like this series, it would definitely be Silentes. But I would say Mike just can just seem to hit everything.
Yeah.
It's like it's annoying.
It's gross. Tell him to stop.
You know when he had like 19 kills, 20 deaths or 18 deaths, he had like 18 assists.
Yeah.
Which just talks about how much Full Tilt are capitalizing.
How about him getting the ammo there toward the end as well? Standing there with 5 HP with the skill stick out. Ridiculous.
But yeah, it's very good. But I think it was actually a quiet performance from the scouts, but I guess that's sort of like understandable when your pocket is fragging so hard, like you don't have to do anything.
Really nice rockets.
So yeah, it's good that, you know, it can take the weight off and not depend on having to having your scouts out frag all the time, you actually have somebody else that can sort of step up to the plate and relieve the pressure off you.
Well, some members of the Full Tilt team have sort of stepped into our interview area. We'll be getting over there in just a moment. But yeah, I mean, we've got a little while before we get to our grand final. But the boys have got to be feeling good, I'd imagine.
I mean, the advantage that they have is that obviously there is probably no better warm-up that they could have than an incredibly close best-of-3 where every single round was like down to the dying seconds.
Yeah, the most TF2 they pretty much could have played.
Exactly. So they'll be feeling pretty good. I think Crowns though have a lot of preparation. They'll probably be able to sort of, well, they've been watching the games, been able to see what they're up against. It's going to be, I feel, down to map picks quite a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see as to what Full Tilt try and sort of get into their favour. I would expect a Gully Wash ban 1,000%. If not,
He'll blow chunks.
Would you be worried if you were Full Tilt on the basis that they outplayed them, but the games were all really close? Like they lost Snakewater. Do you know what I mean?
We talked about how Froyo almost stole the game, almost stole that past map.
Yeah, they almost stole the series.
I guess in some ways, yes, but actually having it go that close and not losing it is something that will give him a confidence boost.
Yeah.
Because in those situations when you know that it's down to the dying seconds, your backs are up against the wall, and knowing that you have that experience now that you can actually turn it around is something that's pretty valuable.
The final of best of 5, as we've mentioned, we'll have more details on that as we get closer to it, of course. I believe we're ready in our interview zone. Standing by with Silentis and Thalash himself, we have Mr. eXtine. Take it away, my man.
Yow! What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to our interview segment. I have with me 2 of the winners from Full Tilt. You guys had an awesome game there. You must be feeling really great right now. Why don't we hear about that from yourselves, and we'll start with Silentis here.
I'm really happy about the game. My personal performance, I pounded them, honestly, every time. And even the first map we lost, it was still pretty close. We should have won that map. So I feel really good we got the win.
Nice. And your opinion, Thalash?
Yeah, I feel really, really good. This is the game I wanted to win. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not good. I'm just European, so. But yeah, it feels really good.
Nice. A question for you, Silentis. We chatted a little bit on our walk over here about how things worked out in Snakewater. You guys getting up 2-0, and then sort of slowing things down. Was there much in particular that you guys had prepared to go against Froyo? Obviously, you were hitting them in regards to the format there, but were there any other aspects you really narrowed in on?
We just knew that they never commit to last, so we could just we could kill a lot of time just by sitting around them. The only way they push last and get rounds is when you push out. So we're just trying to not do that, I guess, or just not overcommit. And when we lost the map, it was more due to our mistakes. Every time we lost a round, it was usually something we did wrong. Well, yeah.
Your opinion on that, Thalash?
Yeah, I mean, especially on Snakewater, we held last for a long time, so what they tried to do, they would sack 2 people in, and then they would try and bait us into a push and then kind of commit on second with Uber. And we fell for that a couple of times, which is why I guess we lost the map in the end. But, I mean, we had a few plans, especially going into Gully Wash. We felt really confident, mainly because of their performance versus Jasmine T. They played a really close game, Froyo did, whereas we won pretty convincingly versus Jasmine. So we had a lot of confidence going into Gully Wash, and yeah, worked out good.
Nice. Now, Silentis, you're paired up with Mike, who is a phenomenal soldier. You guys were both doing an excellent job. What was your take on the flow that you guys were bringing to the game, how you guys were working together, and how that contrasted with the partnership of TLR and Patty?
I think just both of us were hitting every rocket during that game, on both, especially the last 2. We hit every rocket, and it's just you don't really need that much. We have pretty good coordination and timing, but if you hit every rocket, they're always dead. Compared to Paddy and TLR, they're not really working together, and they're often they just don't get much done with each of their roles. And TLR's pretty passive, and Paddy goes in on his own a lot. And yeah, I think we just were better overall.
And Thalash, what was your perspective on the Scout v Scout battle with you and your partner up against Free State and Banny?
So going into it, I think it's pretty even. Me and Asif swapped around. I played Pocket Scout some of the tournament. We swapped the other day, so I'm back on the flank. But it's really even. I think Free State played really well this LAN. He really surprised me, so I thought it was as even as it could get, like the scout combo. But I think our Solis really outshined their Solis, and so did our demo and medic. So, but the scouts were pretty even, I think.
Nice. Now, we are going to get an interview down the line with Mike right before the match starts, but just wanted to get some quick thoughts from you guys about your upcoming matchup with Crowns. I'll start with you, Salentes.
Oh, I think we'll win. Well, like, even if we lost them before, it's a completely different team, and like we can be anywhere, you know. We can. I think the only thing stopping us from winning would be ourselves.
And your thoughts, Thalash?
Yeah, I agree. Like yesterday, playing Crowns was not full tilt. We weren't playing together. We were just a completely different team yesterday. That's also why we struggled versus Senex. But we turned up versus Jasmine, and we turned up today versus Froyo. So we'll do the same versus Crowns.
Awesome. Well, we'll wrap things up and just give you guys a quick opportunity for some shout-outs. I'll start with you, Salentes.
Shout out to my team for being really good, and shout out for Mike. He's a good player.
Awesome. And Thalash?
Yeah, same as yesterday. Shout out to everyone who watched the stream and all the people who donated to our fundraiser. And yeah, shout out to Europe.
Yeah, definitely. All Europe final coming up, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to throw it back to the panels in a second here, and then we will also be back with more interviews in the downtime between games, so don't go anywhere. But for some last bit analysis of that match, let's head back over to Getawhale.
Salentes thinks they'll win. How about that?
Surprising.
Throwing out barbs. Well, absolutely. And as eXtine mentioned, we're going to be hearing from some other members of Full Tilt and other various people perhaps as well as we get closer to the grand final, which is coming up at 5 o'clock local time. And I'm sure the crack team there in Twitch chat will be able to convert that to whatever local time you are all in. It's Crowns Full Tilt. A lot of people saw this coming as the grand final. Several of us, I believe, as well. All Euro. You guys got to love this. I'm not European.
I mean, for once,
You're not? Nope.
I can actually throw this away.
Now, what is
we
that?
won't be needing this anymore.
No.
This is our salt now.
Okay.
But it belongs to NA.
Yeah.
Should we?
You can get that out of there.
We'll get that shipped to Banny on his flight back home.
We will.
Maybe.
I would give it to them, but
Put it in a real big suitcase. Put it in one of those metal ones.
Yeah, I would give it to them, but they're all quite physically intimidating to me, so I'm going to have to get Coleman to do it.
Just like everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, listen, we don't have a whole lot else to add. We do have the grand final will be coming up at 5, as I mentioned, between Crowns and Full Tilt. It's a best of 5. In between, like I say, stick here. We're going to have a little indicator on the stream of when interviews are coming up. Jeffrey eXtine, interviewer extraordinaire, will be giving you some more sort of behind-the-scenes stuff. Of course, there's social media and everything as well. I know you're following us on Twitter, right? Hashtag i58TF2, right? Are you?
I don't like Twitter.
Why not? What did it do to you?
Just don't like it. Don't
He
wanna
gets
talk about
bullied a lot.
Don't bully CX, guys. He's nice. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I don't like war, but I like CX.
Yeah, we all know that.
Twitch chat knows everything. Twitch chat never been wrong about anything ever. Do the analysts don't like each other? Well, listen, we're going to kick it off to ads. We will be back, as I mentioned, in a little while. Yeah, we'll be back. Check out some ads. Stay where you're to.
Buy their products.